set me up. Oh my God, they gon' 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 set me up. In that body roll, don't give a fuck about no. You like fuck my lord, I might call my lord. They gon' set me up, they gon' set me up. I'm retaliate, you ride like the car, and she wicked. I won't be, oh my God, I'm not timid. They gon' set me up, they gon' set me up, they gon' set me up, and she wicked. I won't be, oh my God, I'm not timid. They gon' set me up, they gon' set me up, they gon' set me up.
You made me trust you.
I had to make you understand. It isn't me you're afraid of. You understand me. What you're afraid of is the unknown. Are you afraid?
I thought I would.
You're uneasy.
Give it to me like I want it. Give it to me like I want it. Give it to me like I want it.
Hello, hello.
What up?
Hey, yo.
Welcome to the 3 a.m. podcast. My name is DJ.
My name is Charlie.
My name is Sean.
Thanks for working in with us. Technical difficulties. Check. Give me a sec.
Can you not hear or what?
Coming through on speakers. Guys, welcome to episode 100.
Hey, yo.
Man, we started this thing 2.5 years ago. And it's wild to think about.
Bro, you remember when, like, the stat we heard was if you can make it past 20 episodes, you could make it?
Yeah, man. We were hyped about that. And that was 80 episodes ago. Quick maths.
Ooh.
But congratulations. Thank you
Dude.
to everyone who's supported us thus far.
100%. Right off the bat, we want to thank patrons. Everyone who supported us, specifically our top tier patrons, our $25 ones. They are technically producers of the show. So real quick, we want to thank Brittany, my sister, Aaron, you know who you are, you're the best. She's given so much to us. Alex, the homie, Kevin, Junior, Kylie, Tenny, Isaac, and shout out Tone Mob, homie of the podcast. But without you guys, like, we wouldn't have any of this. So
Huge
thank you so
thanks.
much. Yeah.
Also, you may notice we told you guys we had some big changes coming up. One of those is our new studio, which we are in right now. We got a real life fern wall on the back here. Planted that last week myself. And we got this cool little like wood table thing here. It's all legit now. We're legit.
We got tables and shit.
Yeah.
We finally moved out of DJ's bedroom. So that's the biggest step we've made as a podcast.
DJ's
so
the
far.
most grateful.
I have my own space now. And the
Yeah,
studio has
yeah.
its own space.
Oh,
But
for sure. No, it's dope to be down here. Also, we have a couple of visitors. So first off, I want to shout out our interns, Miranda and Kalima, and a couple of visitors back here. We got Aiden, Charles' brother, Willow, and Mal are also
Shout out Aiden.
all there. So what up? Thanks, you guys.
if you're watching, you probably already follow us. But if you don't follow us, Check us out on Patreon if you want to support us. .com/the 3am pod. We also have our Discord, which is new. Sorry, I think my mic is falling. I might have to fix that. Our Discord is available to everyone. One thing that we're excited for is our emotes. We just created a bunch of custom emotes for Discord. We're hoping it'll transfer over to YouTube soon. We're thinking about Twitch in the future. This mic is definitely falling.
Should we fix real quick?
Yeah, we'll fix it while you bring up the new emotes.
So I'll take you through the new emotes. And these are things we're hoping you guys can spam in chat someday. Right now they're just on Discord, but we're going to migrate them over when we can. First off, beautiful. What do we have? A swollen ass ankle. A beautiful brown sugar ankle right there, belonging to none other than our Hawaiian Prince DJ. Awesome. Is that actually when you broke that shit, when the bone came out?
No, this one's separate.
It's like when you woke up one morning and it was broken. The next one, a staple of all Hawaiian homes and food preparation around the world, Spam and DJ, your boy. There we go. What's that one called? Oh, Spam. Rightfully so. Next one. Oh, what a gorgeous boy. Who's this? That's Kevin. Guys, every time you hear those angelic tones of laughter on the recording, picture that. That's Kevin. And we call this one, what is that? Silly Goose. So appropriate. Your boy's got to make an appearance, Shaitan, in all of our hearts and minds. Just kidding. The Shaitan emote next. This is an actual photo of Sean on his mission carrying a lamb around his shoulders like Jesus Christ.
Before I grew a beard and went to the dark side.
Yeah, so Sean of Nazareth right there. Next, another broken ankle, so always good.
I couldn't figure out which one was better.
This is a broke boy's favorite. Go to the next one. Onion grass.
Bro, I can taste it in my mouth already right now.
Next, the non-believer. So if you hear some shit, you're like, nah. Spam Sean's face. Next one, I don't know what this is, but it's just DJ dressed up as one of the twins from The Shining. Always good to have. And the last one, Blurst. So if you see some cursed shit, there you go. Spam that.
That's that. So purposeless, dude. Why do we have it?
Because we can.
Because we can. Because it's episode 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already had some people I saw join Discord, so
Sick.
thank you. Anything to foster more of a community. Huge announcement that we're very excited for. Our number one most listened to episode, I think still is a 3 p.m. with Leah Hardy on Skinwalkers. So the announcement is we're having her back. We're recording with her in 2 days on Monday, and that'll be coming out a week after episode 100 comes out. So we're recording this tonight. This will come out on podcast platforms next week, Saturday, and then the following week, 3 p.m. with Leah will come out for everybody.
And word on the street is Sean is so scared
Dude, so scared.
that he won't be there.
I can't even come. It's like, you know, if I go out among the mesas and stuff, I can't even look along the mesas because
Among
I'm
the mesas.
afraid that the skinny boys be checking.
Here, Tub.
Nah, the truth is Sean might have a girl, so he's ditching us.
Has going to Lake Powell, but that's fine. We support that.
Cool.
That's our housekeeping, real
Dude,
quick.
We're so stoked everyone's here. Hopefully we have a good time tonight. Interact with us as much as you want in chat. Kalima's going to be watching. So is Miranda. So, yeah. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
It's been a journey, bro. Speaking of journey, I know most of you know this, but there might be some of you who don't. We started in a basement with one mic that was placed on this stool. And we'd wanted to start a podcast for so long, and we just didn't know what to do. The original idea was, let's do shit we don't want our moms to know. And we would call it, Please Don't Tell My Mom. So just all the hooligan stories of us growing up, and we'd ask all of our friends their hooligan stories. And we're like, all right, let's do it. Your boy and your other boy, we're kind of perfectionists. So we thought about doing it for like 4 or 5 years. I'm hearing something.
Just mute the chat or the tab.
I think Discord's popping off.
Cool.
Yeah, so we just thought about it for a really long time. Then finally we were like, all right, no matter what, on this day, let's meet in my tiny ass basement apartment where I
On
wanted
our
to
camp
die,
chairs.
on creaky ass camp chairs, and let's just record it. And who cares? Let's just put it out there and see what's up. And yeah, we did that. And from there, we're sitting here at 100 episodes later, dude. So it's truly been a journey. And yeah, we've had a lot of friends and family. Like, if it weren't for everyone supporting us, we would not have kept going so much. So shout out my family specifically, all my siblings, my parents. You're the real ones. All of their families. And a couple of straight up day oneers who like privately hit us up all the time to encourage us. So thank you so much.
Gang. Sean, you finished something today.
Hell yeah, brother. So I threw this up on our Instagram today as I did our episode drop announcement from the top of Mount Baldy. I was running a race. It's the Cirque Mountain Series. And the race I did, I posted a pic, if you want to throw that up for our listeners to check that out, of the course I was on.
Oh, whoa, look at that background.
Ooh. So I started here at the bottom and then wanted to kill myself for about 3.5 miles till I got to the top. And that's where I announced the episode drop. And then ran all the way, rest of the way down. So at this point, I can't move.
Yeah.
I'm hella sore right now, bro.
Dude, we showed up to the studio to like set everything up, and Sean is laying like a dead body on the floor, and all of us like moved around him while we set things up. But he's like, guys, I seriously can't. And then he went upstairs and like laid down. He's like, dude, I don't know if I can do this.
Bro, how many races have you run so far?
Let's see. So this is my first Cirque Mountain Series. I'm also doing another one in September. It's up in Wyoming. But I have run 4 different Spartan races, all at their different like lengths, from 3 miles, 9 miles to 14 miles. And I feel like I did like a Tough Mudder one time.
Yeah, you did.
But that's long forgotten.
Why, dude?
It's just messy, bro.
You enjoy it?
I don't like the mess. I like the race.
But why do you like
enjoy
the race?
You enjoy doing all these races?
Oh, yeah. Well, for the first half, I hate it as I'm going 2,500 feet up for 3.5 miles. And then I have this like euphoria that hits when I get to the top. And it's just like that runner's high, bro.
Bro, I don't believe it, dog.
Bro, you can believe what you want, bro. But, dude, I actually love it. I love doing it. And I feel like just like today, I was like looking around at all the other people who were out there like ready to do the race. And I'm like, man, dude, I'm the most out of shape person here. Everyone was just super in shape, like trail runners. That's a different kind of like physical, like.
That's funny because when we're hiking, you were like ahead of everyone else.
Sean gasses us so hard when we hike.
Dude,
So
I
I
was
know the
getting
feeling.
gas today.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the results, but I did the whole course, which was like a little over 7 miles, and then up a mountain. I did it in about a little over 2 hours. But I just saw the person who placed first in that race. It was 56 minutes. And I'm like,
The whole thing?
the whole thing.
How long did it take you?
2 hours, 12 minutes.
Oh, bitch.
He was running more than
Damn, you
twice as
suck
fast,
ass,
bro.
Would you consider marathons or ultra marathons when you think of what's his name? Bald
David
dude.
Goggins?
David Goggins. Is that like? Is he a sadist? What's the word?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Sadomasochism.
What's the right word?
Just
where you enjoy
putting himself
pain.
through the pain.
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of
Relate.
to that, dude, because why else would you want to run one of these races?
Yeah.
I actually do at some point want to run a marathon and try an ultra. So that's in the future as well.
That's wild.
Did y'all know marathon runners doo-doo and pee-pee themselves?
Yeah.
Do you know that's like a regular thing?
Yeah, and they have like crazy like chapped nipples.
Oh, yeah. They have
Nah,
to tape
bro,
them.
you put on that body glide and tape, bro, you're not getting no chaps, bro.
I had a cousin who like ran a marathon, several or something. And when I was little, she said, yeah, you just, as you run, you just let it run. And I was mortified. Like, that's the foulest thing I've ever heard. You just running and we also ate a ton of Taco Bell before we went live. So
I was gonna say, what sadist tendencies do you have?
so
Taco
many.
Bell.
Yeah, Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Dude, spicy food is my biggest one.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I have to think. I have many. There's like a thing I go through, like when a situation gets so bad, like the worse it gets, the funnier I find it. Because I'm like, wow, this could not get worse. And
Same.
then it kind of does. So I usually just laugh. And my wife thinks that's a really fun situation. Like when we have really hard times, I just laugh because it's hilarious to me.
Bro, I was doing the same thing like a few weeks ago when we were on the Lost Coast, and I'm pretty sure everyone was pissed at me because I was like out running in the rain, like with my shirt off, laughing, and everyone's in their tents, and I'm sure that they just were upset.
They're like, we're stuck with this psycho.
Bro, you are constantly laughing at the weirdest times.
Okay,
Sean has
so
that.
what if I laughed during
You
the
know
middle
that.
of
I'm not
Hereditary?
the only one.
The one I'm thinking of is Kevin in Hereditary.
Bro, I laughed too.
Oh my-
that
In
one
movies
spot, I
where
was
it's like
like,
the part you're not supposed to laugh, you can always count on Sean and Kevin.
Spoiler
Laughing.
alert. In Hereditary, a character is in the back of a car and sticks their head out of a car. And then smack, their head runs into a light pole. And they get beheaded. And it's like out of nowhere when you're watching. It's so jarring. So that happens in the movie theater and everyone's like, and Kevin goes, ha! And like screams and everyone looks over at him. And then when Kevin starts laughing, he literally can't stop. So it just like fueled
and
itself.
everyone's watching him too, so that fueled him too.
Dude, it's like when people were watching The Joker and there was like the mass shooter. Dude, it's not a good feeling.
I remember, when we watched The Joker, and like if you haven't seen The Joker, there's very dark things that happen at the end, and people were laughing. Like it was so uncomfortable in the theater, and I was like, this is not the right reaction.
I swear it was someone here who went to go see The Joker and like, oh, it was me.
I swear there was someone here, dude.
I'm that guy.
It's me. I saw The Joker. And somebody was laughing maniacally at like random parts. And I looked at my girlfriend.
Red flag, bro.
I looked back at the person back and forth, and I'm like, do we stay?
Do we go a little bit closer
is
to the
this
exit?
$5
All
Tuesday
the
movie?
exits where they are.
Really worth? We made it. But
Barely.
it made it like a 4D experience.
Sean, are races getting harder for you?
This one was definitely one of the hardest ones I've done.
What do you mean getting harder?
Well, I'm
Like
not
the
gonna
types
lie.
of races he's getting?
No, I'm saying like, I feel
Just like level of difficulty.
Old.
old. Like my little brother's visiting in town, and I've been trying to like plan all these fun activities. And bro, I'm like, yeah, man, like let's go hike. And then he leaves the room, and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm so tired. I'm like, hey, I need to go work on work real quick, and I go to my room and nap for like 20 minutes. But dude, I'm starting to feel the effects of getting older, which
Like
is
what?
weird.
Is it just the napping or
joints?
what?
The first thing I've noticed is noises I make. So like
Like grunts?
like getting out of my couch, I'm like, it's hard, bro. I used to be a spry young thing. Actually, okay, this is really embarrassing. Whatever. I may or may not have. Fuck! I can't believe I brought this up on live. I may or may not have photos of myself without shirt.
Wow, dude. Embarrassing, bro.
No, like when I was fit, and I was looking at it when I was like, dude, I have fallen so far. Like this is unreal. I'm like not the same person. But anyway, those are me
humbling,
me
huh?
getting older. How about you guys?
Dude, I think the worst for me is recovery time. Like, I still do all this horrible stuff to myself, like running these races, and it takes me a little bit longer to like be chill. So like, it was 2, maybe 3 weeks ago now, I went and did Lone Peak as well, just to summit Lone Peak. And I was so wrecked after. There's this one section that is literally the worst section of any hike I've ever done.
Yikes.
For straight 2 miles. And then you have to come back down at the end when you've been there for 10 and a half hours. It sucked. It sucked so much. And I was so sore. I rolled my ankle at the very end of it. And then MJ, your wife, like hit me up the next day. Hey, we're playing volleyball. And I was like,
And you played.
yeah, I went and played, dude. But I was like wrapping everything, bro, with tape. I was so sore, but I could not do it. It's just like recovery time for me is getting a little bit longer.
Kind of fun.
It's
Speaking of getting old, What do you think
This
of all
segment.
the? Am I the only one who feels fatigue with all the remakes coming out, like Space Jam?
Talking about okay, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Bro, it's like write an original thing. I don't know. Everything is a remake. Everything is a reboot. I don't know. Is that just a cash grab? What is that?
Well, yeah, dude, I've seen so much marketing for just merch for that movie. Like
Are you talking about Space Jam?
Yeah,
Toon
for
Squad
Space Jam.
2.0?
Yeah, yeah. Like
Remember
the,
when all the bros wore Toon Squad?
bro, I got a Toon Squad.
Sean used to wear Toon Squad.
That's like the boys' version of when all the girls did Harley Quinn.
Except for
like.
I have the most respected person on the team, my boy Bill Murray. That's the jersey I got.
Nerd. No, I'm just kidding.
That's so funny.
Dude, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm not going to see Space Jam, nor do I want to.
Why?
Because I think it looks lame. And, dude, I'm about to lose all of our viewers. I have a hard time with LeBron, bro. I don't like him.
Are you going to lose all of our viewers because
Yeah.
you hate LeBron?
Yeah, I don't know.
Everyone else is such a LeBron supporter.
All of our viewers are really into sports, obviously. No, I don't know. It's just like I have no desire. I feel like Space Jam was beautiful.
It was.
They're just.
I feel like it
ruining
was part of the novelty of the 90s. You can't really create novelty now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm blowing smoke on my ass. But, yeah, why are we remaking a classic? Keep it a classic.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's not even about like LeBron being a better player or not.
Yeah.
It's just
Or is it?
Dude, it's just
don't
like he's trying to hit these benchmarks that MJ had so he could be like, oh, I'm better.
Bro, he's a stan of MJ. Like he's like, like the Eminem
yeah.
creepy ass fan.
You don't have to explain the meme. I don't know what a stand.
Are you sure? But I'm talking about the actual like music video
Yeah.
with Dido,
Yes.
Dido?
where
Ditto?
he writes Eminem.
Yes.
No, but he's being creepy. He's trying to copy MJ.
Kind of, dude. Yeah. And MJ's better anyway, so.
Who's the Bill Murray in this one?
Ugh.
Dude, I don't know. It doesn't have Bill Murray, so what's the point?
Real quick, we're being alerted.
Yeah, we got some good stuff in the chat.
Oh, let's hear from chat real quick.
So, Mommy Buttercup, back to when you guys were talking about laughing. She says, laughing is the best way to get through stuff. My parents laughed when my dad got his cancer diagnosis.
I mean, well, it is true.
There he goes.
What was that name?
Mommy Buttercup.
Oh, damn.
With a name like that.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
We got some Kevin comments. Kevin's laugh boosts my serotonin. Where's Kevin? People want to know.
Bro, dude. Actually,
Kevin, unfortunately, is at a friend's funeral, so he couldn't make it tonight.
yeah.
He'll be around for Leah's episode, and this isn't the last time we're going to stream, so.
Yeah.
We don't have a exact schedule. Honestly, it's taken so much just to do this. Like literally minutes before we started, seconds before we started, we were still preparing.
Plugging shit in,
Yeah,
unplugging
yeah,
shit.
dude. It's
As we were already streaming, we were still trying to fix up the mics and so
Yeah.
we weren't falling.
it's been a lot. So yeah, also like live being a new element, I don't know, I'm feeling a little awkward. So
It's crazy
just
to
trying
think there's at
deal
least like
with,
14 people watching us.
Yeah, trying to not break the fourth wall, but there are people watching us.
Take this away. Anything else from chat?
Yeah, there's a lot. Mommy Buttercup says, don't diss my name. You should. My story today, it's my birthday. Be nice.
Yo, happy birthday!
I
don't
think
know
I
if
know who
that's,
this is.
Is that
You don't need to
one
say
of our?
it.
Yeah, we don't need to say it, but we do have at least 2 followers, I swear, who messaged us and
Said it was their birthday today.
So,
Yeah.
Happy birthday, you two. Do you know who you are?
Then someone wants to know most embarrassing moment, and if you were forced to do a drug, which one and why?
Oh, bro, all of them, first of all. No, just kidding. Dude, I actually have an embarrassing moment, and it's something that plagues me to this day. I'm caught in the cords. Hold on. Okay, so I used to swim and play water polo in high school. This new freshman came on. I'm like a junior or something. New freshman came on, and his dad just randomly was like, hey, I'm the assistant coach now. Like, didn't go through the proper channels, but he just made himself assistant coach and started, like, coaching us. We're like, dude, who are
like
you?
volunteer.
Yeah, but he made himself real official. Every time okay, this was high school, whatever. Every time he spoke, the entire varsity team just went underwater for like 2 minutes. So he'd be like, all right, guys, we're going to be running and also be like, and just stay under there forever. But one time we're at like a meet, and I'm sitting in the crowd, and he's just screaming at people. I will try to justify my actions of being a little asshole by saying he was a dickhead. He was really mean, and he always like compared the whole team to his son, right? So everyone's like, dude. So I'm sitting in the stands, and I'm like, I'm just going off, and people are laughing, so they're kind of fueling me. So I'm just tearing into him. He's such a dick. Like, he's so stupid. He doesn't know shit. His son is stupid. Like, I'm going off, right? And after like 10 minutes, someone just goes, dude, his mom is right behind you. And I just sat there, and I went like, and she was sitting literally right behind me. And I just stood up and walked out. And I have not stopped thinking about that since the day it happened, dude. So now anytime I'm like talking doo-doo, I'm like, just making sure.
Hyper conscious of who's around, who's listening.
Yeah. But I don't know. That's been on my mind a lot lately. So funny that question came up. I kind of feel good about, being able to vent a little. Thank you, whoever that was. Any embarrassing things with you guys?
Elementary school.
The whole experience?
The whole thing?
No, when I had a mad lisp growing up. Up until the 6th grade. And if you listen carefully, I went through enough training where like I overemphasized my S's.
Whoa. How do you overemphasize an S?
I don't know. I just like, they did like a bunch of exercises. Like I had a straw, and when you like have the letter S, or when you say the letter S or words with the letter S, it would like whistle through the straw. So like you were trying to go for that sound when you were talking. Yeah. So it's just like a bunch of like speech drills.
Some of us did sports. Yeah, some of us did drills.
Every week.
It's okay.
Every week, the office lady would come into class and be like, DJ, in front of the whole class. It's time for your speech lessons.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're like, peace out, chumps. But that was probably my embarrassing. That's not super embarrassing.
I mean, it's pretty, especially at the time.
It's more, I laugh at it now.
Dude, there was one time we were like new friends, and I was showing you a funny YouTube video.
Did it come out?
No, I was like,
because it does every once in a while.
Someone made a compilation of kids at Minecraft Con.
Oh yeah.
So it's like 100 kids who went to Minecraft Con, and it's like, they're very socially inept. So they made a compilation of like the most awkward moments. And the first kid on there just has the maddest lisp. And I'm just laughing. I'm like, oh, look at, and I look at DJ, and DJ's like, I had a lisp growing up.
I'm bitter. I don't even remember this. That's so funny.
I was like, oh, sorry.
I'm hope I'm past that. Dude, there was one kid that I hated so much because he would always make fun of my lisp. And he would do that
call
all
him
the
out
time.
right now.
Like,
What's up? Don't do it.
I was about to, dude.
I
looked at the camera and everything. He would always do that rebuttal, he'd like hit his shoulder on me, and I'd be like, "Oh, sorry," and he'd be like, "Sorry."
My gosh, dude.
Dude, savage kids are assholes, dude.
Dude, yeah.
Kids are psychopaths.
But
Bro, I'm trying to think of an embarrassing moment. I think the most is probably this one time I went to Minecraft Con. Because I was
you're dumb, dude.
You couldn't afford it.
Yeah, no, we couldn't, bro. They
You were
didn't
playing
take
actual
onion
Minecraft
grass.
outside.
Sean's like hitting real rocks with a hammer.
It's not working, guys.
Yeah. That don't count, son. See, this is where you would spam the onion grass emote.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, Sean, no, you're pretty poised. I feel like you're like you're very thoughtful in your actions. So yeah, you don't often find yourself in a
Embarrassing moment.
I have an embarrassing moment.
Sean's also hella like thick skinned too, so like
Bro,
if he
I
does
still get
embarrass
made
himself,
fun of for
Unless
He
you
doesn't
beat
care.
him in video games.
Oh shoot,
Then it becomes a giant baby.
big salty boy.
You have an embarrassing moment you want to tell?
Yeah, it's for Jordan, who's not here. Oh, dude, yeah. Everyone who always gives love to Jordan. Jordan moved away and grew up.
He's
Yeah,
got
It's
a
like he
big boy
left
job.
Neverland. Yeah, got a big boy job.
He's
and
ascended.
Yeah. But Jordan hates scary movies. Hates them. And Sean and I, we went through like a 4-year period where we saw like 2 scary movies a week in the theaters.
Any that came out, we went and saw it.
Any movie theater or any movie that came out, we were there at the movie theater, and we made Jordan come with us. So Jordan was like experiencing all this trauma. He was like not sleeping. He's like, holy shit, dude, I got to figure something out. So he devised a plan. He's like, okay, the movie will start and I'll be like, oh, I need to go get popcorn. So he would walk around the movie theater for like an hour and a half during movies, go to the bathroom, play some of the arcade games.
He spent money to do that.
Yeah, I know. Talk about FOMO, bro.
That's so funny.
But so this one time we're seeing Sinister.
Oh yeah.
And Sinister's about Bagul, who like makes kids kill their families.
That sounds close.
Pretty heavy. And Jordan, in the beginning of it, he's like, okay, I'm gonna go get popcorn. So he leaves. 20 minutes later, on the screen is the scariest scene of the entire movie, and it's a point POV camera
of a lawnmower
filming of a kid pushing a lawnmower on the lawn. As that's happening, Jordan walks in, huge bowl of popcorn. And he's down and he's in front of the entire place because we always sit him back to make sure no one can kill us during movies.
Exactly.
So he's in front of the entire auditorium, and all of a sudden the lawnmower, you see for a flash of a second the family's face, and the kid runs over the face with the lawnmower, and it's like and it's like this loud noise, and it freaks out, and Jordan goes ah! and chucked
Throws
Popcorn
all the
everywhere.
10 feet in the air. It rains down, and the entire auditorium like ha laughed at him. But yeah, it was funny. You had to be there.
What drugs would you do though?
Oh shit.
Have you ever tried DMT?
If I was
Joe Rogan.
what's the
mukbang
question?
podcast.
If you're forced to take drugs, which one would you do? Is that what we're? Is that
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
was?
I think that's what it was.
Dude, I'm taking meth off the table,
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
heroin off the table. I can't deal with that right now. My life is too stressful. I would probably do DMT. How about you two?
Cocaine, dude.
Okay.
That's the status drug. If there was like no, if there were like zero side effects.
drug.
The what?
The status
It
drug.
is. It's like Narcos. Like all the money is in it.
Getting shit done.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd want to just explore the universe on like some shrooms. Maybe take some
shrooms. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Do not do drugs. We're not condoning.
Yeah,
any
we're
of
not
this. This is
condoning.
hypothetical in a video game we played once. Don't do drugs. Stay in school.
How's chat doing?
They're good. Bro, you got torn up about your lisp.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
We got
Who the?
DJ,
There's no S in.
Yeah, I was like, who the fuck? So,
DJ Pathicala.
You're dumb.
Scary Thor.
Oh my god! The Scary Story podcast.
3 a.m. Oh my gosh, it's everywhere. I'm so sorry. These are all low hanging fruit. I've heard all of these. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Okay.
bro, talk about embarrassing. I prayed for a growth spurt for 2.5 years straight. Almost every day. I tried not to miss a day. I was like, God, I'm doing my best. I'm keeping these commandments. It's time to see a little blessings. I just want to hit 6 feet. And I prayed for that for like 2 years. Almost every day. I probably missed like 2 days. That's probably why it didn't happen.
Bro.
But that was only like 2 years ago. So
So you've been doing it for 2 years.
yeah, I'm currently doing it.
People are also asking where Lucy is.
Oh, dude, Lucy has a better life than most of our listeners, probably.
Most dogs.
Yeah, I'm saying listeners. She's traveling right now with my wife. They're in Portland, and they're just doing activity after activity every day, all day. But Lucy is healthy and happy. She survived. She's actually an amazing dog now. She's finally calming down.
No period.
Oh my gosh, she finished her womanhood, and she's amazing. I love her. Yeah.
Dope.
Anything else?
They want height checks.
Height
First
checks.
of all, rude. I'm 6'7". What are you?
6'7", not me.
Stand up, bro.
Oh, hold on.
Do they really want you?
Do they really?
Yeah, who said that?
Someone said, "Do you hit 6 feet?" And then someone else
Oh,
said,
no.
height
I
checks.
do lying down, but
This is OnlyFans. We just do whatever they want us to do.
Yeah, let's see some donos, and I'll show you some feet.
Everybody,
$50
put your
dono. and
feet
I'll-
up, boy.
Yeah. Cool. Before we move on, from all of the listeners who are here, any questions for us? Any thoughts? We also have the ability to do polls tonight. So if you can think of a good poll, message, and we'll try it out. We'll try this shit out. Tonight's about having fun. So
First question, where do we send the foot money?
I have a Venmo.
Oh, put the Venmo handle up?
Yeah, we should.
That's so funny. Put it up then.
I don't know what it is.
Damn you.
Let's check. This is thrilling entertainment.
Come through. Charles will show his feet.
I think it's at Nocte Natus, but I'm not sure.
The 3 a.m. podcast.
Hey, that's the handle.
Yeah.
At the 3 a.m. podcast. Perfect.
Dope. Should we get started?
I guess let's
Actually,
do this. Oh,
Two questions.
Okay.
The first is, are you still Mormon?
yes.
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 Okay.
That's that.
And the next is, can Charlie take off his socks?
Like we said, the Venmo is up. Put
Pay
up some
up.
numbers and we'll see what's up.
Yeah.
Oh, one more. Which story from the podcast scared you the most?
Oh shit, that's a good question.
Charles had one a few weeks ago. I told, and he was terrified on the way home. He called me. He's like, dude, I'm actually scared driving home. I think your wife was out of town.
And
And
my
you're-
phone was on 1%.
Yeah.
And I was borrowing a huge car, so it was like
There's so much
18
room for
feet
someone to
behind me of
hide behind you.
darkness. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, my phone's at 1% and it's probably going to die. And it died. So, phoneless.
That was a rough time, and I was like, man, screw this podcast, dude. I hate this. This is not worth it. What story was that, though?
Some demon shit. That's what scares you the most.
Yeah, but we got to remember. I don't know. What about you guys?
I remember, and it wasn't scary like when I told the story because I'd already gone over it. But when I got the story from someone, it was a person who hit me up on LinkedIn, found me, and sent their story there. And as I'm reading it at like midnight, I'm like, fuck, this story is scary, bro.
Which one was it? What
It was
about?
the one where his mom dies and he gets roped into going to like some sort of Ouija board seance.
That one scared me too.
Bro, that one was terrifying.
Anything with demons, I just like, dude, it's everything else is fun and games to me, but demons, I'm always like very hesitant. No bueno.
That's usually when it gets me too, when I'm like reading the story by myself in the dark. And I'm like,
Isn't that one where they're doing like the Ouija and then the freaking
they like run
personage
to the
comes to the back
kitchen and
door?
then there's something standing at the back door, dude. Yeah.
I think it's pretty evident or clear, but we love like Native American folklore and
Yeah.
especially Skinwalker. I think that was a huge reason why even before we had this podcast, we would like search out Skinwalker stories.
Yeah.
There's a lot of anonymity behind that. And Leah cleared a lot of that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think about times where I got like chills around my whole body during the podcast. And there's a few. But the one that sticks out most is just Leah.
Leo was awesome.
Talking about she was laying in her bed.
Oh, yeah.
She saw the skinwalker in her window and she woke her family up.
She had to like walk out and she knew it
And
was
her
there.
mom was, like leading this whole
Charge?
operation. Yeah, this
Yeah.
charge. And her mom grabbed her and was like, we can't afford to be scared. So the chills were like part like,
Like
I don't know.
just
Empowered-
inspiration,
empowerment.
motivation.
But like, dude, also terrifying to like run outside with one of those. But
Yeah.
good question.
That is a great question.
Is that it?
No, there's a bunch.
Oh,
Woo.
dude, keep it going.
Well,
Let's
yeah.
go this as long as we
Let's
want.
take a couple more.
Okay, one is, what type of stories freak you out the most, or what's the scariest genre?
Me is demons, 100%.
I don't know. It depends on my mood. It's a lame answer, I know.
Well, for me, like this one that scared me most was that demon story. But I think in general, as a genre, probably like people like out in the woods, because I can relate. I can see that happening.
Especially, yeah, we
To-
go out
to
in the
me,
woods
yeah,
a ton,
yeah.
ton of times. So, yeah. Anything, or what do you like the most then? Give them something. I feel like you were torn, or DJ seems to really, really enjoy like mimic stories.
Sure. Missing 411.
Those
It's
ones are
probably I've
creepy.
probably spent the most time reading about Missing 411 than anything else. So
sick.
that's a favorite.
What else we got?
Heather says, if you had to pick a favorite out of each other, who would you pick?
Well, I'd pick me for sure.
Oh, damn, right answer.
I'll pick Kevin. No, I'll pick Jordan. Kevin and Jordan.
I say Kalima.
Hey. I'm the only narcissist here, I guess.
So no one picked you.
This is a good one. Are you guys ever going to do a live recording from a haunted place?
Dude,
We talked about this actually.
We talk about it.
Oh, I think it was yesterday I was talking to you as we were like going past like an amphitheater somewhere, and we kind of talked about doing a recording there, but also branching out to like other scary haunted places. That would be so sick. So we're thinking about it. It's in the works.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Yes,
we're talking
we'll
about
do
it.
one before the end of the year.
Ooh,
Okay. You
Okay.
just found us.
before the end of the year.
We really want to take it a step further and separate us.
So they're streaming backpacks. If you've ever seen that, or if you're on Twitch or anything like that, it's like fully mobile streaming capable. It's a backpack, has internet, has a camera, and like a speaker where like people can pay to have like their comments read out loud,
Yeah.
so they can walk around and hear the comments and speak to the camera. So we've thought about that's way in the future, but like ultimate 3 a.m. would be us three each having a backpack, exploring a haunted place
Frick, dude.
at the same time, or just like hanging out in a haunted place and doing an episode, all three of us together.
Bro, I already done that basically. When I went out to the Pink House. You remember that?
I do.
Classic.
Yeah, we were doing an elaborate plan to trick Jordan and scare him. So we told him Sean had to go to his grandpa's funeral. First of all, sketchy that we're using the death of a family member as like our alibi.
See, the problem was, it worked. It worked because it was actually happening. Like
But
that,
you just couldn't make it.
I couldn't make it. So I was like, I have to go, and left earlier that day, just hung out around town, and then headed out.
And there's this famous scary house in South Provo called the Pink House.
Yeah. And I think it's gone now, actually.
Yeah, it got demolished, but it's way out in the middle of this field. You have to run across like 6 fields, and they're privately owned.
And one part has a bunch of horses.
And they're
one was
scary
pissed
ass
off at us.
horses. Yeah, bro. They were like rearing up and kicking at us. And Sean went out there like an hour early and had to sit in this haunted house in the darkness and just wait for us to come there. And then, yeah, we terrorized Jordan. It was a really good.
Fun memory.
Yeah, fun memory. Real quick, I want to ask everyone in chat if you're comfortable. What state or what country are you in? I just want to know where like everyone's from.
Yeah.
Because this is the first time we're like, it's us as a group of friends. We do this every week, but it's fun to bring chat in and just kind of like feel who's there.
Someone from chat just asked that question.
Where's everyone from?
Where's everyone watching from? Yeah.
Dope.
Sick.
Cool.
We got Washington State.
Did you guys have something?
Yeah, check your Venmo. I've been told.
Oh, she you about ready to show your feet, bro?
It better be. Oh, fuck me. Is that worth?
Dude, it's a good amount.
So I have to legit show my feet? Is that how this shit works?
I
Are you
think
really
that's
that
how it
embarrassed?
works.
It's my
bro.
first time being a hoe. I don't know how this I don't know what to do.
What a historical moment.
Okay, so we may have just gotten Venmo'd a decent amount of money.
Is it like ankle worthy?
Yeah, I
Or-
could give heel.
Heel.
Hey, I will say this.
No, give the whole foot, dude.
Wait, our producers are saying don't do it.
Don't do it.
We literally have two pictures of DJ's feet as emoticons.
Yeah. But I intentionally have worn socks every time because I was like, I ain't giving that shit up.
Bro, everyone's seen my feet too.
Fuck. Should I text Brittany and ask her? Should I be a hoe?
Someone said, Charlie, do you need to ask your wife first?
Oh, yeah. I guess that's important too.
If we don't do it, we'll Venmo the money back.
Hell yeah. I'm Venmoing it back. What was I going to say, though, before that?
It's just crazy you didn't keep your promise. It's really crazy to me that you wouldn't do what you said.
Oh, I said for the right amount of money. Now that's like in the right direction, but dude, I was known on my mission. Okay, no, that's not okay.
What
What were you gonna say, dude?
Don't
Anyway,
stop
so
what you
stories
started.
time. No, I used to go to this Fijian house, and the mom was Fijian. First of all, dopest lady ever. And every time I'd show up, because it's Australia and hot as hell there, literally, I would take off shoes, socks, like tie, everything I could. So I'd walk around barefoot. And she used to call me cute feet. And I was like, okay, thank you. Things because like her kids were twice the size of me because they were Fijian and I was just like a small Asian person, but I don't know. May have been sexually harassed. All right, what's the next subject? Anything else from chat before we move on?
I'll just read a list of where everyone's saying.
Oh, cool.
So we got NYC, Kingsburg, California, Central Valley, California, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Manila, Philippines, hell.
Filipino. How do you say? Kumusta ka?
Mabuhay.
Kiata ka.
Whoa, dude. Whoa,
Sorry,
bro.
Don't say that.
Don't say that.
San Diego, Saratoga Springs, Alabama, hell,
Damn, that's a rough place.
Texas. Yeah, we got someone from everywhere.
Sick.
Cool, man.
Dope. We're excited to have everyone here.
Yeah.
Means a lot to us. Bro, let's tell our stories.
All right.
All right. Now we roll our 20-sided die to determine in what order we tell our stories. Highest number goes first, so on and so forth.
The way we do this is still so ghetto. We haven't changed it in 100 episodes. One day we'll have like an action cam over so you guys can see the roll a lot better.
I got a 10. Charles got a 9. Deej hit a 1.
That's
There needs to
fine.
be a punishment. If you have a good idea for a punishment, put it in chat.
I'll sprain my ankle right now.
Dude, I feel bad. I'm not showing my feet.
I mean, I feel a little bit bad too, but I've already shown my feet, so no one, it's not special.
All right. Sean first, then me, then Deej.
Yeah.
Dude, was that the first time you've ever been pimped out?
I mean, I think so. I don't know.
That's wild.
Okay, we just going to go right into it?
Let's do it.
All right, guys. I got a pretty good story. I found it while browsing the interwebs and hit up the writer. And the guy was like, yeah, sure, share it. And so I'm taking us to Kentucky, back to my roots. And this is in a town called Somerset, Kentucky. And the the writer or the person this story happened to, his name, we'll call Stormy. Now, he's about 15 years old at the time. He says that he and his friends are all like big into horror films. Like, to emphasize this, he's like, I would stay up late watching the Elm Street movie, even the shitty 3 sequels they put out.
Dude, I think they're up to like 13.
Bro, they might be.
Yeah.
But anyways, they're all super into horror movies. One thing he and his friends, though, love more than anything else is all of the paranormal investigation shows. And they're all just set on having their own paranormal investigation show. Now, luckily for them, one of the friends' name is Mark, and his dad also is big into it, and so he has all of the equipment. Like the was not an EMF detector.
Yeah.
He's got one of those. He even said he has like a clip full of silver bullets just in case.
Oh, dude.
So they're ready to go against all the werewolves out there.
Dude, that's crazy.
So they're all set on having their own show, but they're going to be different. And they're going to be different because when shit hits the fan, they're not going to run away. In his own words, they're going to stand their ground against whatever it is. So, sounds pretty legit to me, because one of the most infuriating things to me is when I was watching a Finding Bigfoot one time. They're out in the woods. Somebody hears a sound. They're like, oh, it could be Bigfoot. Oh, let's go back to camp. I was like, motherfuckers. I was so angry, so angry. So, I'm kind of about this idea of not running away when things get gnarly out there for them. So, at this time, though, they're all like 15. And because of that, they can't exactly have their own show just yet. It's more of just exploring the woods behind their house at this point. We all have been there. Now, one weekend, Stormy and his friends are all over at Mark's place. And that was kind of the place to be, just because that's where all the equipment was. And there's just huge forest out behind the house. There's plenty of places to explore. They're waiting out the day, basically, waiting for it to get night so they can head out and start exploring. Now, once night fell, they took off. And he says they're all just strapped. Like, he's got a .22 pistol, friend's got, like, rifles. They're all heading out. And he says, okay, so it's Somerset, Kentucky.
Bro, if I ran into a ton of Kentucky teenagers with armed to the tits, dude, that would be the scariest thing in the world.
He says it's not unusual
Okay.
for people to be carrying guns around. However, it's slightly unusual for 15-year-old boys too.
I mean, if the Capitol riot taught us anything.
Yeah. No, you're right. So this is like a tiny little town. And Kalima, you want to throw up a picture? That is Somerset.
Huh.
They have like this little like city center, but once you get about 2 miles out of the city center, it's just forest.
Nothing.
Yeah. He said that basically the closest house to Mark's place is about 20 minutes.
Damn.
So it's like thick forest. It's all like, what is the name of it? Cumberland, like mountains or something like that. But basically, they're out in the middle of nowhere. This is one of the places around Somerset, Kentucky, which looks dope to me, but like the thick forest.
Okay.
Just to give you an idea. So, as soon as they get back into the woods, he says immediately they kind of have this like feeling of unease. Like there was still animal and bug noises and stuff like that, but it just seemed off. Not too off, though, to where they can't keep exploring. So they continued into the woods for about 15, 20 minutes, and they come across this bridge. And it's just this old, rickety wooden bridge that goes across this gulch that is like 15 feet straight down, basically. And then the bridge kind of goes for about 50, 60 feet until it kind of goes around like another hill. At least that's how far they can see it goes. So at this point, they're like, let's just chill here. Let's take a little break. And that break turns into setting up a campfire and just chilling there. Now, Stormy said that, like, all of the homies are just sitting around the fire talking. And so he decides to go on watch. And he heads out to this perimeter that they've kind of set around their campfire, you know, because they're prepared. He heads out to the perimeter, and he's just walking around, shining his flashlight off into the woods. And that's when he notices something. As he's walking, he hears the sound of the leaves crunching under his feet. And he said, normally that is not something that's weird. However, that was the only thing he could hear. As all of a sudden, there's no sounds coming out of the woods. No bugs. He's even like muted off from his friends. Like it sounds like they're a long ways away, and he's just at this perimeter they set up. But the woods are dead silent. So at this point, he draws his .22 pistol, prepared to fight whatever it is. And he continues shining his flashlight off into the woods, and he shines it close to this gulch, which is about 15 feet down. And he said, like, you could go down into it, but it would be a pain in the ass to get back out of. So basically, we're trying to avoid that at all costs. He shines his flashlight over to the gulch, though, and that's when he sees it. He couldn't quite make it out at first, but as his eyes continued to adjust, he sees what looked like a man peeking up over the edge of the gulch. And this man had pale white skin that almost reflected his flashlight beam back at him. And the man had black eyes that seemed to absorb the light, and that's all he could see was just these black eyes. He stared at him for a minute, and Stormy says that at this point he was almost frozen. Like, he didn't know what to do. He's just like shining it on whatever this thing is, not sure what his next move is. All of a sudden, the figure disappears, goes back down into the gulch, disappearing from sight. As soon as the figure's gone, it seems like he's able to move again, like almost like he was in some sort of trance or something from this figure. And he tries to like whisper loudly to his friends, like, guys, guys. And no one is responding. So he goes a little louder. He's like, hey, guys. And finally, they all of a sudden turn around, just kind of like a little freaked out by a sudden noise coming out of the woods, which is him. They all turn around, and he's like, there's something down there in the gulch, as he's like pointing over to him. All of his friends immediately get up, whipping out their rifles and pistols, come over to like where he's standing. And as they all get over to like where Stormy's at, they're looking at this gulch, scanning the area with their weapons and flashlights, trying to figure out what it is that Stormy saw, when all of a sudden the thing reappears. This time about 10 feet closer than it was before. And this time
came up the gulch.
just like kind of like standing straight up, like almost as if it had just crouched down before and then just pops back up. He said this time it was also a little bit further up than it was the time before as well. And once again, it was like they were frozen with fear. They didn't know what they were going to do, and they're kind of just frozen there, not sure what's going on. And it disappears again. And then seconds later, it pops up again 10 feet closer, up this gulch closer to him. And somebody is like, it's coming closer. And somebody's like, run! And so they all start running for their lives.
Those nerds, dude. I knew they wouldn't hold out.
So as they start running, they're running like wild men, basically running for what they think is their lives. And Stormy said he found himself near the front of the pack as they're all running for their lives. And he could hear his two of his friends that were behind him yelling, but he couldn't tell what they were saying. And he's like, sorry, I got to get back to the house. You know, first things first, myself. They all finally make it back to Mark's house as they ran for their lives, and their lungs are burning, and they all make it back. Once they get in the house, all of them stand at a separate window or door with their guns trained on whatever entrance area there is, and they stayed there all night. After what seems like hours, the light starts to come up. The sun starts to come up. And at this point, they're kind of relaxed a little bit and exhausted, so they start falling asleep. Now, Stormy said he wasn't the last one to fall asleep, but he remembered being the last one to wake up. And all of them are sitting around in the living room just talking about what happened. And his two friends that were running in the back said that as they were running, they could hear what seemed like heavy footsteps coming up behind them. That's neither here nor there. They don't know what it is. And they decided that they were never going to go back in the woods out there again. And they never did. And they decided not to tell anyone about it until this story came out. Now, Stormy says he doesn't really talk to many of the guys. At this point, they kind of moved away. He still talks to Mark a little bit and another one of their friends whose name is Chuck. And there were a lot of questions unanswered. Like, what could it have been? Why couldn't they move whenever they saw it? And was it just an animal that kind of looked monstrous in the light of their flashlights? And maybe they'll never know. But that was Stormy's story of an experience they had out in Somerset, Kentucky. Now, there is a part 2.
Keep it coming, dude.
And I'm going to share that right now because we on live stream, and I'm going to give you an extra story. So this story actually comes from Chuck, one of the other guys who was there during this whole experience. Now, Chuck said...
How many of them?
It sounded like there were about 5. So there's Mark, Chuck, Stormy, and then 2 other friends.
Are they the same age in this part 2?
Yeah, they're all about 15, same age.
Still playing Call of Duty?
Still playing Call of Duty, dude. Yeah.
Cool.
So this one comes from Chuck, though, and Chuck says that the location of Somerset was pretty accurately described by Stormy. It's just backwoods, very rural, very remote. Now, Chuck says they sometimes will get together like as old friends. Excuse me.
Need water?
Yeah, dude. I inhaled so much dust today because I was in the back, bro.
Literally eating dust.
That was actually
Anyways.
funny, dude.
I was actually funny, bro. Okay, back to Kentucky then, bro. Chuck says they'd get back together every once in a while, and it was almost like they'd never been away from each other. They just kind of get back together. Super easy. They just kind of revert back to the way that they were. And one time Stormy like reminded them of this story, and it reminded Chuck of another dark story that happened also at Mark's house. So, one cold fall night, all of the friends, so all of the homies are over at Mark's house doing their gaming until dawn routine, Call of Duty for life. Mm-hmm. So hours into the game, they're playing, and Chuck hears a slight buzz come from across the room, and he sees his phone kind of light up. So he like takes his focus from the game, heads over to his phone, looks down at the text, and it says that he wished that he hadn't because Chuck's parents were going through the middle of a custody battle. And something had changed, and he's going to have to move.
Neither of us want you.
Raise yourself.
So upset, Chuck is trying to get back into the game, just trying to get back like with his friends. But there's too much going on in his head. So he decides he's going to go and get some fresh air. So he steps outside, and they're all horror fans. So like heading outside by themselves in the dark as angsty, emo teenagers, they're chilling. Like it's almost refreshing, he said.
Oh my gosh.
So as Chuck stood out there taking in the cold fall air, he makes the decision that he doesn't care about his family anymore, and he's going to run away.
Hell yeah. Like DJ.
So Chuck steps back in the house, and two of his friends are standing there waiting for him, like to check on him, see like if he's okay. And as he like meets them in the entrance of the house, he's like, "Guys, I'm leaving. I don't know where, but I'm going far away." Now Chuck, with his shoes already on, runs out of the house as he's leaving right now.
Oh my gosh.
Now both of his friends are like calling after him. And as Chuck leaves the house, he like looks up at this, I guess, clock on the side at the entrance, and it's 12:30, like a.m. Both of his friends are shouting for him as he's running outside, and then he also hears them shout back for Mark because Mark had something in the oven. He had to like tell his sisters to watch it while they ran after Chuck. So both of the two friends are hot on his heels, but Chuck kind of starts sprinting to put some distance between him and the friends so that they can't talk him into staying. I've been there, dude.
Dude, dramatic, bro.
And he can hear as they're like calling back to Mark. So
I'm just impressed by how much his friends care. All my friends will be like, all right.
But I got a 3
Okay,
kill
bye.
streak right now. I'm
Yeah.
not leaving this game. About to call in an airstrike, so you can run away.
okay, bye. So he said he put a little bit of distance between his two friends, and it seemed like there was distance between them and Mark. So they're already in 3 groups at this point. And Chuck is just running up this dark, windy, like backcountry road. And as he's making his way down the winding road, he slows down as he's coming up to one of the 3 streetlights on this road, like for miles. And it's at like the edge of like this big curve in the road. So it's right at the bend of this road. And as Chuck gets closer to the bend in this road, he hears something rustling off in the bushes. His first thought is it's probably just deer, because they be doing that all the time, just waiting for a car trying to jump out. So he ignores it. And then as he is trying to ignore this rustling coming from the bushes, he sees it. 2 hands reach out of the bushes, like grabbing onto this like traffic light and pulling it like itself into view. And it's Mark. Somehow Mark had been the first one to catch up even though he was the last one to leave. And Chuck calls out to him. He's like, how the hell did you get here so fast? But that's when he noticed that Mark was not wearing his glasses, and his face seemed to be scratched up by like briars or something. And he had bruises all up and down his arms. So Chuck calls out to him again, asks him if he's okay. And Mark just stands there staring at him. Now, Mark is now out in full view, staring at Chuck as he's coming up the road. And then he says something. But it sounded like Mark, but almost like someone else was talking at the same time. And it was this slow, like, wheeze every couple of words that he said. And he said, Chuck, I need your help. Come quick. Exactly like that. And Chuck's a little freaked out because the sound just is unnerving. Sounds like two people talking at the same time, and one is Mark. He slows down and kind of stops a distance away from Mark. And then Mark talks again. He says, it's just back here. I need to show you something. Chuck gave this hesitant, like, yeah, I'm coming. And then Mark slinks back into the bushes.
Just Homer meme?
Just Homer meme. And at this point, Chuck hears the sound of sneakers hitting the pavement from behind him as his friends are catching up.
Oh, shit.
And that's when everything clicked. The curve in the road that they were at was lit up with this light because it was a dangerous curve. And right at the edge where Mark had just gone was a 30-foot drop that went down to this pond. And super confused and now terrified, Chuck is like, nah, bro. And he starts sprinting back the other way.
I'm going to run home now.
I'm going to run home now. And as he gets to his friends, he's shouting at them, run.
Like, we are, you asshole.
We've been running.
Without questioning, they all start turning around and running. And along the way back, they meet up with Mark, who is just shortly behind them. Except for it's Mark, with wearing his glasses, no scratches, no bruises. Now everyone's a little confused, trying to first figure out what the hell Chuck is doing running away. They finally make it back to Mark's house. And as they get to the porch, Chuck says he has like this weight lifted off of his shoulders, almost like he'd just been terrified and is now, everything's good. And
not your family.
Not the family, dude. And at this point, his friends are like, yo, what happened? And he tells them, he says, I saw Mark. But it wasn't Mark. It was like another Mark. And they're all kind of like, okay, sure, dude. And to this day, Chuck says, like, he's not sure if it was his state of mind or like trick of the light. That's one that I use quite often. Yo, it's trick of the light, bro. So he's not sure if he saw really what he saw. But he tells all of his friends, they're like, okay, yeah, well, let's go back to playing games. We're back now. So they finish out the night. He says they went to bed at like 3 a.m. Actually, what he said. I'm not making that up. They eventually end up going to sleep. And as he's like laying there on the couch, all of his friends are asleep now. He's just trying to process what happened. And then he hears this tapping on the back door. Now he looks over at the back door and like it's lit up from the outside, but he can't see who is there. But it appears to be a figure standing there at the door with his head just down, tapping with one finger on the door. Chuck does what every smart person does in this situation, goes under the covers. And he tries to ignore it. Eventually it goes away.
It's probably the Mormons.
Dude, there was only one, bro, not two. And he could tell they weren't wearing a white suit or white shirt and tie. Eventually it went away. Chuck falls asleep. The next morning, however, he heads out to the back porch and notices that there's a trail in the leaves heading out to the woods from the back. And it just come up and went. Or there's only one trail, at least, is what he said. He doesn't know what it was. They still don't know what the figure was. They saw their ghost adventures. But they all decided, like, we're not going out in the woods behind Mark's house, bro. It's hella haunted.
Yeah.
And they all survived to tell these stories. But that is the stories from the backwoods of Somerset, Kentucky.
Bro, I go ham on a bush.
Whoa, dude.
Explain yourself right now. What the hell do you mean,
If
sir?
I saw that thing go right back, I'd go for it.
You topple over the cliff.
Bro, yeah, because he remembers it's a 30-foot drop right there.
That's what it wants you to do.
Yeah.
Okay, I think there's two different things going on.
Okay. Well, yeah, no, I think so as well.
First story. It is Alabama.
Kentucky.
It is Kentucky. Same thing.
Same thing.
There was no one from Kentucky, right? I don't think Fuck Kentucky, you know? What was I going to say?
Hill people, bro.
Yeah, I mean, a big thing that happens down there that I've been told is family love, you know, which produces inbreds.
Wrong turn, bro.
Yeah. So maybe it was just a freaking Cletus slithering around in the gorge.
Well, that's what I like.
Slithering around in the gorge?
That's the first one. Or kale.
He's just standing down there just like,
Dude, I could not
Honestly,
help think of that.
though, I don't know. This is not interesting to anyone, but I'm going to tell anyway. For Charles's bachelor party, we went into the woods.
After a strip club, bro. Right after the strip club, before the casino or whatever normal people do.
One of the parties, we went into the woods, I don't know, exploring,
Yeah.
hanging out. And our friend Kale, who's like 7 feet tall,
He's 6'7".
he looks like an Aryan. A real life Aryan.
Yeah.
And he like walked the whole trail without a shirt.
Well,
And was
he
like,
glows, dude. He's like translucent. His hair is white. His body glows in the dark because he's so white, Aryan, as you said. And at one point, he just takes his shirt
He
off.
takes off his shirt. It looks like the ring has corrupted him for years. Like, that's what he looks like. The one ring.
Yeah.
And he starts like foaming at the mouth.
And he's like,
Does this weird walk.
because there happened to be a high. Dude, this sounds sketch as hell. There happened to be a high school party out in the middle of the forest that we stumbled upon.
bro, that's crazy. I never went on this.
And so Kale was
This
like,
is so bad, dude, for your bachelor party.
no, it was funny as hell. But now I literally can't hear like any weird translucent creature in the forest. I just think of Kale every time.
No, that makes
That's
sense.
what I was thinking
That
the whole
makes sense.
time, to be honest.
That first one, though, legitimately, that's what I thought of was hill people. Like people hiding in them caves out in the woods in Cumberland Mountains or whatever they're called, or that's what it seems like. However, the second story.
Dude, I think it's one of the previous victims.
Oh, shit.
The body
dude.
of a previous victim. That's why it's all bruised, because he fell for it, went over, and died.
And it may have just looked like Mark.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it was like had mimic powers, I'm sure.
Well, and
But the bruises, I think
maybe
it's 'cause of-
Mark just looked basic, dude. And it was like, it looked
Everyone
like,
looks like Mark. But yeah,
That's a
what
great
I think.
assumption.
Like a siren or some shit.
yeah. I mean, those are both valid, I think. The sirens of the pond down below 30 feet.
Creepy, though. Bro, like, besides paranormal, there's a lot of reasons I don't want to go to the South. And here's two more. So thank you for those stories.
Yep. No, shout out to Stormy and Chuck.
Yay. Stormy and Chuck. Hilarious.
Dude, you're right. I think mimic stories are at least one of the most intriguing to me. I don't know what I'd do if I saw myself.
Dude.
Have you ever heard?
It's like if you see a demon, pray, or I don't know. If you see a
Lay.
yeah, if you see yourself, I don't know
Lay.
what you do.
Have you heard of the ultimate taboo?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Okay, sorry, listeners. The ultimate taboo is if you ever come in contact with yourself, let's say your future self is able to travel back in time. The ultimate taboo is to sleep with yourself. So that's an option
Thank you,
That's an
Charles.
if you ever run into yourself. Because how do you know? You know?
I mean, I guess you don't unless you try it.
Yeah.
He's all like, "Come sleep with me."
What were you going to say before I interrupted you?
Oh, just like when we were out in the woods one time, somebody was like, what's the scariest thing you could see like right now? And I think that the consensus answer was like, what if we saw ourselves walking up to us?
Or like one of us.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Because then we don't know, first of all, if one of us is legit. Yeah, I know, the Spider-Man dude.
Like, who we're going to kill. Yeah. Creepy.
That's why we got our password.
True.
Yeah, boy.
Some of us can't remember the password. Oh, shit. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway. Dude, we used to legit, when we recorded, we'd check each other to make sure each other was each other with our password. Yeah, that stopped after like 4 times.
Yeah, that took way too long, bro.
So, thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Stormy.
Yep, that's me for tonight, guys.
It's you.
Anything from Le Chat?
Sarah Branwin says, you don't have to be faster than the monster. You got to be faster than your friends.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's why he found himself at the front.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, I was going to say, so who here?
Well, I just literally went running for fun, so I'm ready.
And then people want to know who your favorite sibling is, Charlie.
Easily Aiden. I hate every single other one. There you go.
Yeah.
Easily. No, I'm just kidding. Cool. Is that good?
Yeah. And there's a request for Kale on the pod.
Oh, dude, we want to get him on. The
Yeah,
issue
we've
with
tried to.
Kale.
He refuses to leave his little bubble of Moses like Washington and swears by everything there.
Yeah.
He'd
And
be a
also, he's like the funniest person I know, but he's also one of the most inappropriate people I know. And some people might find that hard to deal with. So,
He'd be a great ep,
Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
except, anyway.
It would be entertaining.
One day, we'll see. All right, so that's me. Dude, here's an issue. Another symptom of getting old is bladder size. And I'm going to have to pee or hold it the whole time, so that
You
might
want
be
to throw
coming
it
up.
on pause, bro?
No.
Can we do that on live? Just pause.
Well, if you guys are like, anything you could talk to the...
Yeah, do we have any other questions from earlier that we didn't get answered?
No,
Well-
I'll just power through.
Oh, okay.
You got this, dude.
All right, guys. 100th episode. Had to come big. We had to come giant. Real big. So I was thinking, what's the scariest shit I could talk about? And obviously, I landed on the dentist. The
That's
scariest of them all.
Spooky, dude.
No, but truly, one of the most terrifying things. There's like supernatural things that scare me. There's real people that scare me, serial killers and whatnot. One thing that legitimately terrifies me, and ever since I heard about it and realized that it's a possibility, it has like plagued me forever. So now I wish to plague the listeners. 2008. Sweet older woman goes in for routine surgery.
Routine root canal.
Donna Penner. She goes in for an exploratory laparoscopy. Don't think I pronounced that right, but that's what I'm going to go with. Super standard procedure, straightforward, very little risk, in and out. It is, they do have to cut her open, but they've got it down. Science is caught up. So she's prepped, she's ready, she's lying on the surgical table, and they start to administer the anesthesia. They say, okay, count down from 100. So like many people, she goes, okay, 99, 98, 97. And she goes under. Cops, the fuck?
Open up.
Yeah. You're going to jail. Surgeons, whoopsh, with their little gloves,
Their
and
gloves.
whatnot. Scalpel, and they start to do the procedure. The issue is, although Donna's body went under, her mind and her feeling of pain stayed awake the whole time. Something went wrong with the anesthesia, didn't take, and she laid there through the entire procedure, horrified, feeling horrific pain as they cut her body open, and the procedure calls to like move organs around. And she could feel the entire thing. But because she was paralyzed, she could not signal to them saying like, yo, stop, please stop. Like,
Please stop
I'm
cutting
still awake.
me open.
So she endured the entire procedure and was able to tell them after they like brought her to. But this is speculation, but I just can't imagine going through something like that and being the same person on the other side. So when I heard that's possible, wasn't fun to think of that. That was just a little intro of like the weird things that can happen during surgery, during dentists, during doctor visits and whatnot. We have a friend who will remain anonymous. Don't try to guess because of, what's it called? Confidentiality. But they are they are a dentist over on the West Coast.
Is that?
Specifically the Pacific Northwest region. Several states could be. Don't try to guess. The place that they're at is a rural town. For many, many, many years, like its history is logging. So it has a history of being pretty rough and tumble. Mm-hmm. A lot of the demographic was like men because they would come in for logging. People go missing. It's kind of ghetto. Drugs are really, really prevalent. So I just they were telling me about the utter chaos of being a dentist sometimes that I had no idea. So I'm just going to go over some of their most interesting patients that they've had. They said very routinely it's common for people to come in and be completely like yacked out on something. And they do their best to administer whatever procedure they need. Sometimes they're doing an entire extraction where they're taking out like every tooth. They've, I can't remember what it's called, but if your tooth is bad enough, they said they often see teeth. They're just a black, soft mess is like the tooth. And they have to go in and remove pieces of the bone and take out the entire tooth. This is going to get squeamish if you don't like hearing stuff like that. So this is very common. A lot of the times patients will have an extreme amount of anxiety before procedures. So something they do is they like give them anti-anxiety medication. But what can happen is either they have like adverse effects to that, or sometimes they mix in their own drugs with that and they come in and they're like out of their mind. So one time they had a guy who was on the table, and during the procedure, as they're taking teeth out, he starts freaking out and flailing. And he kept grabbing what was in the mouth and like throwing it away. And then, so they had to have like multiple dentists come in, multiple assistants come in and hold this guy down, freaking out, incoherent. They said like he was just like talking, speaking in tongues.
I mean, that's
crazy.
how you sound when you have shit in your mouth, bro. It's like the dentist.
They said he had taken something, he was on something, and he was out of his mind. And then after the procedure, they like could not get him to come to forever. He was just gone, another planet. And this is like a routine thing. This person I was talking to, they were like, dude, I could tell you like 3 stories from today that are like this. One of them, let's go into it. Oh, and the alias I will give this person is Jim White. So we'll be talking about Jim, the dentist. Something that they're allowed to do as dentists is when they get a person in and they check them in and they decide whatever procedure they're going to put them through, they're able to look up their police records. And so a very routine thing is they'll get him in the chair, they'll do the procedure, and then when the person leaves, one of his assistants will come over and be like, yo. Okay? So one guy...
For what?
Just like to see if they have a police record at all. Like they'll use because when they sign in, they give their name.
Right.
And one of their assistants has like a system that dentists can access where it can just pull up if you have police records, they can pull you up.
Why would they need that?
Just to make sure safety and stuff.
For themselves?
Yeah, dude. Dentists need to be safe.
So I'm going to go over just a couple weird ones. One, they had a young guy in and instantly gave off a very creepy vibe and very socially awkward, wouldn't make eye contact. Very creepy. Does a procedure, sends him on his way. His assistant comes in and just shows him. And he said she had to like scroll from all of his like molestation charges of children. And Jim was like, good hell. You know. Another one, female, she comes in pretty normal. And a lot of his demographic, he says, like, look a certain way, like they have a very tumultuous life.
Rugged.
This person was like done up, very normal looking. Like, okay. Does the procedure, sends her on her way, and the assistant comes in and shows him the phone and the records. Turns out this person, one, was on Dr. Phil a long time ago for like a completely separate but crazy family drama thing. And then two was I can't remember what her charge was, but she had seduced and slept with her 13-year-old daughter's male friend, and she'd done this twice. Okay. So he's just kind of highlighting the creepy things or the intense people that come through and sit in his chair. I do have a photo. So that's her. I didn't want to like put it out too much, so that's a picture of her.
Besides public national television?
I mean, it is on Dr. Phil, so
Well,
it's like
they weren't talking about like the molestation charges there. It was like completely family drama stuff. So,
Okay.
All right, back to us. Okay, the next one, he said a lot of times he'll get a vibe from people when they sit in the chair. You're spending time with them. You're intimate. You're in their mouth, right?
yeah.
This guy, pretty normal. Didn't give any weird feelings. Polite, calm. Through small talk, he's like, yo, what are you into? He's like, oh, I've been in corrections for like the last 20 years. He's like, oh, okay. So he's like a
He
corrections
assumes-
officer.
Yeah.
Last 20 years. Does the procedure. Thank you so much. We'll see you next month. Perfect. Sends him on his way. His assistant comes in, this time like face drained. Shows him the phone. Turns out, 20 years previous, this guy and a friend, there's 3 friends. 2 of the friends decided one night they're going to rob and kill their 3rd friend. So they took him out to a field, lured him out there, beat the shit out of him, and took everything he had, and then they tied him to a pole in the middle of the field and left him to die, which he did.
That's heavy.
This guy got convicted, sent to jail, tried to go out on parole, and the judge was like, no, you're still a danger to society. Like, you are no bueno. But apparently, 20 years later, he was able to get out, or at least on parole, and he strolled into our friend's dentist practice and was sitting in his chair. I also have a photo of him.
Oh, yeah. He definitely killed someone.
Okay. Next person. If you are squeamish, you can't fast forward, so maybe like go watch a fun YouTube video for a minute and then come back. They're about to go out to lunch. They're like wrapping their last patient up when a guy comes in to the practice and he's pretty irate. And he's like, I need help now. And they're like, oh, damn it. We're about to go out to lunch. We're like, okay, what can we do? And he's like, I'm in so much pain. I can't sleep. I can't think. It feels like it's pushing into my brain. I need help now. They're like, okay, what's going on? What's the matter? And he's like, I have a bubble in my mouth, and it's killing me. Like, I cannot live with this. Please help me. It's like, okay. They get him checked in, take him back, sit him down, lean him back in the dentist chair. And our friend Jim, the dentist, opens his mouth up, and he said the entire roof of his mouth is a huge abscess. Oh. Full of pus. Fuck, bro. And our friend Jim goes, all right, I hate to tell you this, but best thing we can do for you is get you on some antibiotics and hope it goes away. And he's like, please, like, I can't think. It hurts so much pressure in my head. He's like, can't you just lance it? Can you please just lance it? And our friend, the dentist, goes, okay, that's a possibility, but here's the issue. Even if I squirt anesthesia in there, it's so acidic, it's not going to numb the pain. Plus, the way I have to do it, it's probably going to hurt way more than it's already hurting right now. And he's begging, his tears in his eyes, because he's in screaming pain. Like, it's constant. And he goes, please just do it. And they go, all right. So they prep him. They shoot in anesthesia, no effect. It's instantly like neutralized by the acid of the pus inside. Huge bubble on the roof of his mouth. His assistant sucking his saliva. Oh. And the dentist goes in and just touches it with his finger, barely brushes it. And the guy in the chair goes, starts screaming and shaking. Other assistant grabs his shoulders,
I told you.
Yeah. Other assistant grabs his head, tries to stabilize it. and he's screaming. And our friend Jim is like, dude, be quiet. Everyone in the lobby can hear this going on. Just like him murdering someone.
Be quiet.
He's like, yeah, puts a hand on his open pussy mouth. So he goes, okay. Grabs the scalpel, goes up to the bubble, and makes his first incision. Hot, frothy pus spilling out. And the guy is screaming because more pressure in his head. The dentist is doing his best. He has to squeeze and push. His assistant now, the issue is not only him screaming and flailing around, but the smell that's in the room. So the guy on the table, between screaming, starts gagging because his mouth is full of blood and pus. So he's like, and it's dry heaving. Dentist grabs a small trash can, shoves it in this guy's chest. The guy grabs it. I'll spare you the details. I could really drag this out. But a lot of pushing, a lot of screaming, a lot of blood, and a lot of pus.
Bro.
As they're doing this, another assistant comes into the room and says, sir, can you help me out here? Opens the back door to the practice, and there's like 4 or 5 women in the parking lot screaming, almost coming to blows. So he's like, and the assistant goes, sir, I think they're talking to you about your dog. And the guy, mouthful of blood and pus, stands up with his bib on, with everything on, and sprints out of the practice. So our friend, the dentist, and his assistants like go outside to see what happens. Apparently, he had come in, turned his car off. A dog was in the car. Several women saw the dog in the car, and they started fighting about, we're breaking the windows, we're calling the cops, we got to get this dog out of the car. They're at the point they're like in each other's face screaming. So much so they don't even realize a guy in a full gown and bib sprint past him with his trash can in hand. He's like dry heaving into the trash can. He just runs, opens his car, takes the dog, ties it up to a tree, and then runs back inside. And the women don't even notice, they're just still yelling.
He's like, I got to go work on my canines.
Funny. Anyway, he runs back in. And they're pretty much done with the procedure. So our friend Jim just like takes off the smock that he has on and gives him a prescription. He goes, go get this filled out. And the guy leaves dry heaving and stuff.
Bro, how hot do you think the piece of pizza was that he ate to burn the mouth of his...
Like one Hot Pocket?
Yeah, any typical Hot Pocket.
All right, I tell this story just to highlight. Jim wanted to emphasize, like, dentist offices, they seem like super boring places, but they can get so chaotic in a matter of seconds, right? This, dude, there's like even more to that story, but this sets off a chain of events where they're all kind of like, dude, that was extra crazy. So they're all talking about it. And the story comes up in the office and they're like, well, have you heard so-and-so's story? And it's the guy who opened that practice in that small rural town. And he had an event that happened to him back in like the 80s or 90s when it was like a way smaller town and way more of like a shoestring budget out there. So this is that older dentist's story. This guy moved into this specific area because there was a need for dentistry. Like no one was there. And he specialized in like full extractions, removing all the teeth. There's some times in dentistry where like if you're particularly good at something, they'll kind of funnel those cases to you. Like if Sean was really good at like taking out molars and stuff like that, anyone would come in and I saw him, I'd be like, all right, like you're going to see Dr. Gasaway, right? So this guy was known for doing full extractions. His partner had already met with a young lady, did a whole consultation and exam. They had gotten the x-rays and they decided they were going to have to remove most of her teeth. So full extraction. And so he was informed that you're going to have this patient on this Friday, let's say, and it should be pretty standard. The partner did say, it is kind of a particularly weird case. She's very nervous. She acts very erratic, and it's because of the anxiety. And her teeth, they have sustained a lot of damage very quickly. And that's why Jim said there's two most common reasons why you get full extractions. One, your teeth rot away so bad that they have to like take them out. Or two, people who heavily grind. So they just grind their teeth down to like nubs, and then they crack past the gum line. You're going to have to go in, remove bone, and take those teeth out. So he said, it is kind of weird. It looks like she might be a grinder, and that's probably what's happening. But the weird thing is it seemed to take place in like a very short amount of time. No worries. He's been through it all. This is his specialty. We'll set her up Friday. Friday comes around. The patient gets there, and immediately the dentist, he's like, yeah, I can tell. She's very anxious. She's gaunt. She's like, blood is kind of drained from her body. She is acting very, like, cautiously, right? Slowly. Where are we at? My Mac's about to die. I got to go fast.
Oh, no.
Okay. They get her in the chair. She has to go under. And this guy some dentists will get like trained to be able to administer anesthesia as well. And that's one of the reasons why he's known for extraction. So he's trained to do that. He has 2 assistants in the room. They get her in. She's like not really speaking. And they're saying, yeah, she must just be super nervous, which is understandable. So they open her mouth. They do the pre-exam or whatever. And he is like, holy shit. Like all of her teeth have been ground down. And it looks like they were healthy teeth, but she's just like ground them down to the nubs. And he's like, yeah, I don't think we can save like any of these teeth. So they prep her, they set it up. He's sitting on almost behind her. She's like sitting in the surgical chair. He has 2 assistants. One's in the back. She will be supporting the head, and the other one is across the chair. So they start administering the anesthesia, count her down, and she is out. When people come to from anesthesia, they're super groggy. It takes them a long time to like get back to normal, right? So no worries. She's out, and he starts going to town doing his procedure. He said a lot of times when you're in like a patient's mouth, you're so focused on these like tiny little teeth in like the procedure, you zone in and almost everything gets blocked out. To the point where like sometimes his assistant will say something and it will like startle him because he just forgets everything. So he's in there, he's starting the extraction. He has a forceps in his hand and he's using that tool. I have no idea how it works. I'm not a dentist. And he hears the assistant across from him gasp. So he like stops. It freaks him out at first, and he looks up at her, and she is staring directly at the lady in the chair. So he slowly looks down, and he looks down at the lady in the chair, and both of her eyes are wide open, and she's staring at the dentist. Bro. He almost drops his forceps, jumps up in his chair, because she's awake during the procedure. That's bad for a million reasons. She could start flailing, she could be feeling immense amount of pain. So they're freaking out. He's like, holy crap. He starts looking to make sure the anesthesia is still on, and it is. It's pumping super heavily into her. The assistant across the way, newer assistant, she starts hyperventilating and breathing. And the lady in the chair staring at the dentist slowly looks over at the the assistant. And so he's checking the anesthesia, and he hears teeth slam down, or nubs rather, slam down super loud and make a loud like, and he looks back and he looks at the patient. The patient is staring at the assistant, teeth clenched, looking at the assistant. She's hyperventilating. And through gritted teeth, in perfect diction, the patient says, Rebecca. Which is the name of the assistant. The assistant runs out of the room. And there is super strict procedures. You're not supposed to
Can't just leave.
Dude. The patient says Rebecca's name. her first name, which is like she doesn't have anywhere. That one runs out of the room. The one holding her head, stabilizing behind, is freaked out and removes both of her hands. That assistant runs after the other assistant to see if she was okay. The dentist, freaked out, anesthesia, sees Rebecca. Both of his assistants run out of the room, and he's looking, and he hears a scuffle and tearing noises behind him. And he turns to see the patient had grabbed a scalpel and started removing her own teeth. Now the procedure, because I talked to our friend and I said, dude, does that happen often? Like crazy. And he's like, it's weirdly not like super uncommon where like they will like, he's had patients freak out and try to grab things and try to do things in their own mouth. So old dentist turns around. She is cutting her teeth out of her gums. And he says her name and he says, stop, please stop, stop, put that down, please stop. And procedure is you have to try to calm them down. So what they would do is they put a hand on their shoulder or they slowly try to grab the instrument and take it out of their hand. He walks up and she's cutting the teeth, staring at him, puts a hand out to her shoulder and she lunges at him with the blade. He's done. There's an emergency phone right outside the room, right by sanitation. Runs to the door, goes out there, grabs the phone, dials 911. As he's talking to the 911 operator, his assistants scream from the foyer. Oh. And he says, 1 second, puts the phone down, looks down the hall, and can just see them staring at the front door, looks back in the room, she's gone. She had ran out. Oh. They made the report. He calmed his assistants down. They locked the door. They calmed down anyone who was in the waiting room, made sure everything was okay. His assistant went to go back. One of the assistants, super distraught, the one that she said her name, super distraught. So he said, okay, you can go back to the office. Like, stop. The other assistant.
She left before the crazy part, too.
Other assistant goes in and starts to tidy up the room, right? He's trying to calm down the one who's really messed up. And the other assistant says, doctor, can you come in here? And he thinks, great, like what else? Goes back and she takes him back into the room where they were doing the procedure. And sitting on the tray, she left 6 teeth. Oh. And the assistant said, what do we do with these? I don't know. He probably took them home or something, but
Made a little necklace or something.
But that was the old dentist's story of the craziest thing that he's
dude.
come across or the craziest experience that he's had.
No
with the patient.
further update on like where she went? What?
No, it was, like I said, back in like the 80s and 90s. I don't know if he ever saw that person again. I can ask. But what it sounded like was, no, she never came back. Because a lot of their people are transitory, like drug addicts or, I don't want to cast, what's the word? Judgment. But I don't think he ever came in contact with them again.
Luckily.
That's sad, dude.
Bro, that's sketch.
And that's the story of the extraction.
Oh, my heart. My mouth.
My mouth was hurting that whole time. I was like, man, am I grinding my teeth? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, take care of your teeth, dude. Brush and floss every day.
It actually reminded me of a story that happened to me. When I was like 14, I went to go and get a cavity filled in my mouth. And we went to the dentist, and like I get the cavity filled. I feel like they just put the
Lidocaine or something?
yeah, something in,
I don't know.
so that I didn't feel it. And then we left. And I'm like looking in the mirror later, like the next day or something, and there's a hole in one of my teeth, but not like where like a cavity would be. It's like on the front. And it's just this little pinprick hole. And I'm like, what the hell is this? What's going on? So we went back to the dentist, and he's like, oh, I don't know. And we're like, okay, this dude's just trying to like get us so he has to fill like another cavity or something, or another hole or something, because it wasn't there before. So we had to like end up going to a new dentist and like getting it filled there because we didn't trust this fool anymore. I don't know if like that's something our dentist friend can identify,
I'll ask him.
but that reminded me. I was like, that was the trippiest thing. Like,
That's like something you would expect from a mechanic, like not taking care of something so that you have to come back. But if you can't trust your dentist, bro,
for real, it
That's
was like
no bueno.
he took like it was like a little like tiny drill bit size hole.
maybe he's just drunk or something.
I don't know, dude, but had to get that filled. My teeth are fine, but still super sketch.
That is way sketch. Not down.
You made it, dude.
I know. My Mac's about to die. Anyway, that is dentist stories from hell.
Dude, I was not expecting that. The way you set that up.
Good.
That was great.
Thank you. Anything from chat?
Yeah.
Any
Oh.
pus comments?
People were not happy.
Did viewership go down? I don't blame you. I
It
get it.
says about a barf in the freezer section of Smith's currently. People saying stop, nasty. Yeah, it was rough.
Cool.
You guys actually spoke to like a fear of mine because I had jaw surgery like 6 months ago.
Wait, is that from chat or you?
For me,
Oh shit, dude.
yeah, they
Flip the
like,
camera on you, brother.
I don't know if it's still on. Yeah,
Oh,
Oh, what's up, young Kalima?
finally. Yeah, they removed my top jaw and like brought it forward and bolted it and then like cut the top of my mouth and split it to widen it. And like I legit saw a therapist because I was terrified of like being awake during the procedure and all that stuff. So
isn't it like the scariest possibility on
It's
the planet
petrifying.
Earth?
Dude,
Hell
it
no.
is terrifying. And like, I'm terrified too because I feel like stuff doesn't affect me as much.
Yeah, Sean can take an lethal amount of caffeine, and he's like, I guess I'm hyper.
So like, when I went and got my wisdom teeth taken out, like I woke up and went and played basketball.
Yeah.
Like there was no like need to recovery time. So I just feel like one of these times I'm just gonna be fully awake for some shit that I have to do.
Good luck with that, bro.
Dude, I remember I got my wisdom teeth taken out when I was 18. And I was just about to go to the Philippines.
Shout out our Filipino in chat.
Hey,
And my mouth was so numb, you know, you can't feel yourself talking or anything. You're like pinching your cheeks and whatnot. And my mom has to run a few errands before we go home. So I go with her. And before we leave the car into the mall, I replace the gauze because they're still bleeding. And I bring like a pair with me in case I need to go to the bathroom. And we walk into the Apple store and it's 2010 and the iPad had just come out. Ooh. So I'm holding the iPad for the first time ever. Dope. Scrolling through this big ass iPhone.
What the hell?
Yeah. And without even realizing, all of a sudden, there's blood all over the screen of the iPad. It had been too long, and I didn't notice that my mouth had filled up with blood, and it just like poured out of my mouth. And I didn't know what else to do, so I wiped it all over my shirt, and I ran back. I ran back to the car. That was one of the most traumatizing moments I think I've ever had.
And that's when they instated the rule: if you bleed on it, you buy it.
Yeah.
That's foul, bro. Someone got that iPad, and they're like, "It smells like iron."
Yeah, terrifying. Let me close us off tonight, dudes.
Finish.
let's
us.
go.
Yeah, I've been kind of nervous. For weeks, I've been thinking what to share for episode 100. So I chose to go back home
Ooh.
and revisit some things that I learned in my childhood growing up in Hawaii.
Aloha.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I wanted to get into Hawaiian mythology.
Ooh.
I'm also a little nervous because I feel I'm pretty disconnected from home. Like I haven't lived home for 10 years, and I haven't really connected with the culture at all for, that long.
You said it.
I tried to do as much research as I could, and I recognized a lot from what I learned as a child, and that a lot of locals and Hawaiians know.
Dude, you have really big sandals to fill.
Slip us.
Big slippers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to talk. I have 2 stories.
Let's go.
You know what? I'm going to hold off on the Hawaiian mythology. I'm going to save that for last. I'm going to do and Kalima, if you can search up the stairway. So in my hometown, man, everyone's biased, myself included, but I swear it's true. I grew up in the most beautiful place on earth.
Yeah,
Privilege.
Possum Trot, Kentucky,
hold
bro.
on.
The most beautiful place.
Visalia, California.
My hometown is called Kaneohe. If you've ever been to Oahu and you've driven to the North Shore, you've most likely been through Kaneohe. You leave the airport, it's Honolulu, it's Waikiki, it's city, and you quickly, within 10 minutes of leaving the city, enter into thick forest and you're in the mountains. You're going deeper and deeper into this valley till you enter into a tunnel. In fact, there's a few tunnels to get to the other side of the island. But the main one, it's called the H3, and the H3 is a mile-long tunnel carved through. And they built that when I was like, I don't know, 6, 7 years old, Kalima.
Bro, you just have to go around before that?
Yeah, before that there were 2 tunnels, and before that there were 1 tunnel. Before that it was a road around the island. What? That's how numbers work. Kalima, call me out for any of this. Kalima's a longtime friend. We went to high school together, by the way, so Hawaii boy. But the H3 is a mile-long tunnel, and you come out on the other side, and you are like halfway up the mountain. And the view is stunning of Kaneohe. And there's no mountains like the ones in Hawaii. I don't know of any other mountains that they're like totally unique. This is the highway. You come out and you see Kaneohe Bay, beautiful blue water, just super steep cliffs, and you can see the ridges there in the mountain. Kaneohe gets a lot of rain, obviously. It's so green.
Bro, your home's trash.
And when there's heavy rain, there's waterfalls in all of those ridges. So I'm just hyping up my hometown.
Rightfully so.
But on this highway, you pass a world famous hike. If you're big into outdoors and hiking, you've probably heard about this. It's called the Stairway to Heaven. So in World War II, Hawaii built a ton of military radio towers and like bunkers all over the island, on top of hills, mountains. Where's the remote?
Are you still watching?
There we go. Sorry. Technical difficulty. Where was I?
World War II.
Built bunkers
Yeah,
just in
bunkers
case
all over
Charles'
the
family
island.
showed up.
Yeah. Watching it seriously. Watching
The Komodo?
dude, disrespectful. Watching out for enemy attack. And a lot of these bunkers you can hike to. They're nicknamed pillboxes. They're all over the island. You can hike to these pillboxes. Beautiful, beautiful hikes. And the Stairway to Heaven is on one of these ridges on the mountain. And it's over 4,000 steps. At some parts, it's like a straight up ladder. Very dangerous. It's illegal. If you're sure-footed and you're not stupid, you're going to be perfectly fine. But that's not everybody. And people, especially tourists, when they're having fun, you're on vacation, you're not thinking,
A little
what the heck?
fearless.
A little fearless. Your courage is built up. Your friends are there. And people like to go explore outside of the railing. And that's when people die.
I've also heard, we've had friends who done it. I'll just say, my wife's done it. She said the gusts of wind, all of a sudden you'll just be on, and it's like, and it's like someone just pushed. So she had to go on all fours basically to not get blown off the side of this mountain.
Yeah. This hike is because so many people have died, and it's over the years has the structural integrity has lessened,
Right.
just due to the weather and time. So they don't really send anybody to go. Like, the government doesn't fix it. The radio towers at the top aren't in use anymore. They're not needed. So it's up in the air if they should keep it or fix it. Anyway, the hike exists. They have security guards at the bottom stopping you, but there are ways to do this hike. In 2015, February 27th, I believe 17-year-old boy by the name of Dalen Pua flew over from one of the outer islands to Oahu to the west coast to stay with his grandma. Hanging out with his grandma, and while he's there, he says, I want to go on a hike. I want to go on the Stairway to Heaven. You know, it's a big hike. Like I said, anyone who hikes knows about this hike. So he says, I want to go to the Stairway to Heaven. And Grandma says no, emphatically. Says no, you're not going to the Stairway to Heaven. It's dangerous. You're all by yourself. And then she starts getting into more like spiritual things, like your ancestors wouldn't want you to come or wouldn't want you to go, and you don't know what's up there. So against his grandmother's wishes, he disappears and he starts his ascent up the Stairway to Heaven. He sends pictures to his family to let them know he's okay.
Yeah.
And this hike takes a while. It took me like 8 hours round trip. So he's sending them on the hour. And another hour passes and they don't receive a picture. So they're waiting. Some more time passes. No picture. So they decide to text him. Hey, are you okay? They wait. Nothing. They call. There's no signal. Now they're worried. Finally, the phone rings. And what they receive is another picture. And sadly, this is the last picture that, and let me get his name right,
Pua.
Dalen Pua ever sent. It's the last time they ever heard from him. Really sad. But what concerned people most was what was in the picture. It's just a single pic. So this is the part where there's no stairs. It's a little bit of a trail.
Okay, can we like zoom in at all, or?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what are we looking at? What's going on here? I still can't. Like, can we get some more pixels?
Tell me what I'm supposed to see. Is that oh? Is that the head up top?
It seems to be a head up top, a man crouching down in the bushes.
Oh, I see it.
Okay.
I see it. Oh, I was gonna go up there and point, but you can see like his eyebrow, his hairline, his ear,
Yeah.
and he's like,
Exactly.
Is he just like squatting though? Like, you never know.
bro, I will say that looks like Howley skin.
This is the last picture he ever sent his family.
That's crazy.
This is a unsolved mystery. They never found his body. I feel like it'd be pretty easy to find.
You would think like along whatever route he was on, right?
You can't go far. There's literally one trail. It's on a ridge. And if you fall, you land on either side at the bottom of the mountain.
So you just
So
have
you
to do a
check
pretty
there, yeah.
straight up standard search, right?
Exactly. Exactly. But they never found his body. And that was the last picture they ever found, or that they received, last message they received from him.
Yo, also, if Liam Neeson can get like the the reflection of some dude from like a flip phone
Sean,
and get like
this is
pixels, but
real life, Sean.
I feel like we should have a better picture. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I that like sent chills
That is chilling.
It is terrifying.
when I saw that picture. I don't know about you, but it was pretty easy to see at first for me. I could see something crouching in the bushes, but getting closer, obviously the quality lessens. But
You can tell there's something there.
And you could imagine like the last moments of his life, he felt compelled to take a photo of like this guy who let's assume was like following him. Do you know what I mean?
I wonder if he like knew this was it, like kind of last ditch effort to be like, come find.
It's almost like, too, that he was probably aware of something, and that's why he didn't send it on the hour. He was probably just trying to be aware
Maybe
of
he's
his
trying to like get
surroundings.
ahead of him or something.
And then at last, he's like, I have to, and snaps the pic and sends it. That's what it seems like to me. Because, like, I probably wouldn't stop and send that hourly pic if I'm, like, wary of my surroundings, you know?
That real quick is a dark subject, but there is like threads out there. It's like the last photos taken of like people or the people took. And this one lady, this is really dark. I'm sorry. This one lady went missing, and months later they found a photo of her with like duct tape around her, like in a supermarket right near where she was. And they're like, why did it just come back? Or like, why do we find the photo now? I don't know.
What the?
But anyway, it kind of reminds me of that. Just like
Strange, dude.
the photo evidence of like what
It's
happened.
like an eerie feeling, like the last image.
Like forbidden image, like shouldn't see it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Doing more research on this to see if like, I think David Paulides was notified about this. I don't think he made any like advancements on it because there wasn't much else besides the photo and information. But people were talking, and there were some Hawaiians in the comments. I don't think jokingly.
This is
But-
the 411.
Yeah, we're talking about it could have been like menehune, and menehune is like little. What are menehune?
It's like Hawaiian elves.
Yeah, like Hawaiian elves, but they steal people away. It's mostly children.
This guy was children.
Technically, yeah. So that led me on to reading more into Hawaiian myths and legends that I knew about, but trying to dissect it more. And the one that I came to that I wanted to share tonight is Maui. Maui, the demigod.
You're welcome.
So I assume everyone's watched Moana.
We're gonna watch Moana
So
right
that
now.
I'm going to talk to you as if you've watched Moana. Maui, the demigod, is an actual legend in Hawaii and in all of Polynesia, actually. Tongans, the Maori, the Tahitians, they all have stories about Maui. And if you read into Polynesian folklore, legends, mythology, there is a distinguishable difference between myth and legend. The line between the two is pretty blurred, but the conclusion that I found was myths are made up, legends are humans' interactions with the things that were made up, which is kind of cool. Cool way to put it.
Every like thing has like that basis in truth or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So a lot of Polynesian religions, especially Hawaiian, were polytheistic. Lots of different gods, similar to Greek and Norse mythology. Different gods for different purposes. And it's funny because like we learn about a lot of these. We watch them on the big screen, like Hercules, but you look, like you watch the movie and Hercules was a good guy, you know. You watch Maui, and he's known as a trickster, and in the movie Moana, he's playing all these jokes. He's not taking things very seriously, but he's also he's like an anti-hero. Like he's done a lot of feats that have made himself famous amongst Hawaiians, and he sings it in that song "You're Welcome." Maui has a magic hook, and he's used it a lot.
Is that real? Or is
in
that
his stories.
just
Yes,
the Disney?
that is real. And Disney did a lot of their homework when they made Moana, which I was really proud of as a Hawaiian. But he talks about how he fished up. So Maui and his brothers went fishing one day. Cast his hook, and he can't retrieve it. Turns to his brothers on the canoe. He says, "We got a big one. Start paddling as hard as you can." They're paddling. Until he fishes up the Hawaiian Islands. That's the legend. So
Okay.
Maui's responsible for the creation of Hawaii.
So is he a member of the Bohemian Grove, or?
Yes, dude. Very much so. Maui's Illuminati for sure. So ancient Hawaiians believed this. This was their religion. You know, Maui was responsible for a big part of their existence. Another big story that he sings about in the song "You're Welcome" on Moana is how he captures the sun with his hook. So Maui's mother and his village was frustrated, I believe, with their crops not growing fast enough. His mother was frustrated with in Hawaii there's kapa or tapa, which is cloth for clothing or floor mats for houses, decoration, and it's made from the bark of coconut trees. So in order to make that, you need to dry it out. And yes, back in the day, the sun wasn't around long enough. So Maui says, "You know what, Ma? I'm going to do something about this." And as the sun starts going across in the sky, he casts his hook and he catches the sun.
Damn.
And he holds it hostage. And he tells the sun, "We need more of you. You need to give us more of your light because you help us survive more. You help us to create the things that we make here, you know?"
Yeah.
Do rappers brag about buying their mom a house? Yeah. This dude be catching suns for his mom. Also, with the heat wave, can we ask him to come back and push it back?
Push it
for
back.
real,
It's like, go back
Bro, we
down.
got the freaking cloth. Let's put it back.
Too much cloth. Sun agrees. He's like, "All right, I'll give you longer days." And after that, they lived plentiful. Their crops grew more. Their bark dried. And they have the Hawaiians had Maui to thank for part of their prosperity, you know, giving them more sunlight, more life. So these are the happy stories about Maui. Much like Hercules, though, there's a very dark side. Like Hercules, I remember. What's up?
I can hear Sean's foot wiggling on the cord.
Hercules murdered his family, murdered his kids.
What'd they do, though?
What were they wearing?
Yeah, what were they wearing? A freaking toga, obviously.
Yeah. I think Hercules also killed all the men in a city, and that same night had sex with all the women in the city to repopulate it.
That's impressive, dude.
So it's like there's all these things
Create
that
the problem, provide the solution.
Alpha, Omega.
Zeta Pi.
Obviously, all these things Disney omits for obvious reasons. And
Deleted scenes of Disney.
there are dark sides to Maui, the demigod, and his story, his legend, his myth. So
His skin.
I wanted to share some of that. First of all, Maui's magical hook. I had never learned about where it came from. Have you?
Yeah, I learned.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
True Hawaiian.
Please, yeah, me, fake Hawaiian. I hope I do my grandma proud tonight, you know. If No, for real, pitch in if you have anything to add. But one of Maui's adventures, many adventures, was discovering fire. And if I'm right, he had to go down to hell to get it and steal it. While he was in hell, he saw his grandma. And his grandma, Maui said that he watched his grandma eat the souls of those who came into hell.
Damn, grandma. Shit.
That's a dope grandma. So he says, how do I put this? Maui is amazed by
Turned on, aroused.
his grandma's abilities. And
She can just take those spirits. She's
You're
taking those spirits.
he says, "Give me your jawbone." She refuses. He somehow convinces her. A lot of these details I couldn't find. Go figure. And Maui's grandmother gives him her jawbone. And that jawbone becomes his hook. So he coerced his family to give him this magical item. Is that on track?
Yeah.
With what you've heard? Okay,
Yeah.
cool, good. I had never heard that. I didn't know where the hook came from. So that like fascinated me, that he saw his grandma eating souls.
He's like, I need that.
Yeah, he's like, what that mouth, dude?
Yeah.
And from there, he uses the hook, I guess, for good.
What is it? The method? Sorry.
Grapefruit. I hate you.
Pineapple?
Do not. Pineapple.
Got pineapple method.
We're not talking
Shout out
about
my
that.
deviants.
They're all
Kalim
out there.
left.
Okay, we're not going
Share
there. The best story about like the dark side of Maui is how he died. So he is a demigod, so death is on the table. Maui wanted, with good intentions, wanted to bless men with immortality. So who does he go to for that? Who does he go to for, or what do you do to give men immortality?
Kill death.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So the name is Hinenui Te Po. So Hinenui Te Po is Great Woman of the Night, or the Goddess of Death. Hinenui Te Po would send people on their way to heaven or hell. He said, this person is responsible for making men mortal. I need to get rid of her. In Moana, okay, wait, no. He comes up with a plan to kill her. He says, I'm going to go in the middle of the night. He's telling his brothers. And they come with him. And they watch him attempt to murder her. In the movie Moana, they made Maui a shapeshifter, which is also correct. Do you remember what he turns into? What animal?
Like part shark, dude.
Not quite.
A bird.
Yeah, a hawk. Part shark. You just made that up.
No, it happened in the
did
movie.
he?
He's like
I
half
guess I
shark,
haven't seen it. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he turns
but
into a
it's when
shark.
the hook was like half broken.
So he starts like,
Oh yeah, his powers start like yeah. Oh yeah, he turns into like some other Disney princess or something.
that's canon, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, yeah, if it's Disney, it's
Yeah, they
canon.
really did their research. No, okay, so he shapeshifts, and in Hawaiian mythology and legend, he takes on a lot of forms, but one of the main ones is the hawk. What do you think he turns into to try to murder the goddess of death?
Jellyfish.
Dude, you're not super far off.
That whatever crab thing from Moana, bro.
Dude, homeboy turns into a worm.
What the?
And there's two versions that is written. The first one is Maui turns into a worm. He enters into the cave, and the cave crushes him with obsidian teeth.
Oh.
The second version is he wants to enter into her vagina, travel through her body, and out her mouth. And that's how he's going to kill her.
Extra.
And there's carvings of this. And that's Maui.
Not what I
And we just
would
got taken off YouTube.
expect to be happening in that photo.
Bro, he
but
don't look worm-like.
This is Maui. How do we put it?
Enter.
Getting the big dead.
Okay,
That's
so
sad.
Maui got caught cheating, and this is the story he told his wife. I was trying to save all mankind.
I'm giving men immortality is what he said.
Stop blocking men.
Yeah. In the story,
Okay, switch it back to us.
he's like his plan is moving along and it's happening until his brothers from the bushes watching start laughing and they awake Hine Nui Tepo. She wakes up, she sees what's going on and crushes Maui.
Dude, what kind of thought don't wake up the second he starts? Sorry, goddess of death.
So Maui died by clapping thighs.
Ah.
But
Like a true legend.
Snoo.
snoo, death by snoo snoo. I thought it was fascinating. I thought the hook and the jawbone was so unique.
Bro,
And,
I feel like the Maoris have like a mad similar, because I did research on the Maoris for like a story I did a long time ago. And I remember someone trying to enter into the woman and then she wakes up and kills him.
Yeah, no, a lot of these stories are shared by all Polynesians, not just the Hawaiians.
Makes sense.
So yeah, like I said in the beginning and preface, Maui is known by all Polynesian cultures. He was a demigod for all Polynesians. Yeah.
On the bottom of Maori weapons, the bottom is a vagina. And it's to remind you, like, this is where you came from. It's going to take you out. Some
Yeah.
shit like that. I don't
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be crass or
know.
vulgar.
Yeah, sorry.
Like Polynesian culture was like extremely sex positive. Like there are legends of one of the goddesses, and I mean we laughed as kids when we heard this, but one of the goddesses has a flying vagina. She like detaches her vagina and it like chases men. And if you've ever been to Hawaii and you've hiked Coco Head, then you've hiked into the vagina. That's the whole legend of it. And the Hawaiians believed that, you know? So
They're not just prude asses like Western culture.
yeah. They were very sex positive, all about fertility and family. Ohana. And that's what we're coming down to, dude. Ohana. That's what it's
Vin
all
Diesel,
about.
Hawaiian Vin Diesel.
I don't have friends. I have Ohana.
Bro, that was good.
That was actually funny.
I like that, dude. I like that one. That's me tonight.
Hey.
I wanted to share a little bit of my culture
Aloha,
for episode
goodbye.
100. Aloha, goodbye.
Dude, I dig that. That one of the photo, that's creepy. I love stories like that, even though they're really sad.
They're infuriating too because we don't know.
Yeah, but so creepy. Like he managed to catch potentially what took him out.
Yeah.
So creepy. And it was sent later. I don't know. It's just the whole scenario.
Sus.
But always love hearing about the Hawaiian culture as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a
You
good
did your
time.
grandma proud.
Wow. Thank you.
She should give you her jawbone. That was fun.
That was fun. We hope everybody had fun. How's chat doing?
Yeah.
Chat's good.
Yeah.
They ate.
The most recent is can't wait to see this in Moana 2.
The sequel.
The slither.
Yeah.
Thick thighs got him in the end. Yeah.
Tafiti's revenge, bro.
Tafiti's revenge.
Cool. Guys, this was way fun. We're not sure how often we're going to do this. If you guys enjoyed it, please let us know.
Yeah.
And maybe we can make it like a once a month thing. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Or a special ting.
Yeah, this was totally new for us, for you. So, I don't know.
I feel like it went like pretty well. So,
Do you want to do a poll?
yeah. Sure. We can poll, dude.
Yeah. Let's do like, should we make this a monthly thing? Not saying we will.
Everyone votes no.
Everyone's
dude.
going to spam no. Let's see what our chat's like. This will be the test.
Yeah. In the meantime,
Should we close out and then we can chat with chat? Close out for the recording.
sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Guys, this was fun. We love it. We loved hanging out with you. And I really dug the stories. They were like way different all over the place. It's always fun. It's fun when they align, and then it's also fun when we cover.
Lots of different stuff.
Yeah. So we appreciate you. Once again, shout out to all of our supporters, all of our listeners. Everyone here tonight is the reason why we can still do this and why we continue to grow. So we really appreciate you all.
Big shout out to, again, our producers, top tier patrons that we shouted out earlier, Kalima and Miranda, and all of our friends and family.
All right. Looks like they're saying yes.
Let's close it out for real.
Okay.
We love you guys. Thank you for coming out with us to watch our stream, supporting us all the way to episode 100 and further. We look forward to doing more.
As always, send in your stories. Those are our favorite, the ones from the listeners.
Yeah.
It's fun to get to know you guys, and like, dude, we've met and made friends from people who send in their stories. Like, it's so crazy from all around the world. The most recent one being England. So happy birthday, that person.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, please send in your stories. You can send them into our IG DMs. You can go to our website. There's a link in our bio. You can submit them there, or you can send them to our email, yourfriends@the3mpodcast.com. But we love you all. We hope you're safe and you have fun. With that, bye. Love you. Be safe.
Trust your gut. Watch your back.
Be careful out there.
Bye. What up, chat? What up, YouTube? Any fun things? Any questions? Any thoughts?
Once a month would be super cool. We haven't forgotten about feet pics.
All right.
We'll hit you back. We'll hit you back.
Anything from you guys?
Any questions for Kalima and Miranda?
Oh, yeah. Let's get them in on this.
Denny Source says, y'all the best thing I look forward to every week.
Thanks,
Yeah,
G.
thank you.
Any stats we want to go over? Yeah, we're averaging 20,000 downloads a month. Countries all over the world. Ton of active listeners. So it's cool. The YouTube is growing. I don't know. Anything else? Those are like our big milestones lately, is the 20,000 downloads a month.
What's next? What can people expect? What's on the radar? I think for real, merch.
Yeah, we'll do another, like the
As in we get-
official.
As we get
Yeah.
closer to fall, winter, merch and merch that kind of fit the season. So
We're trying to figure out a live show. It would be in Utah, though.
Yeah.
So all of our Utah listeners can come out. And if you want to travel, go for it.
we've thought about doing a live show at a venue, and we've thought about meeting in the woods. Is that weird?
You want to do a poll?
Poll.
Should we do a live? Because there's like venues in Utah that we could do. There's
There's amphitheaters in the mountains.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Big Cottonwood has one. It's pretty dope.
why are
Anyway,
you also hush about it?
I don't know. I don't want people to know. All right. This is our last poll, and then we'll get out. Unless anyone sends in good questions or thoughts.
I've heard there's staircases in the woods you could sit on.
Ooh.
That'd be a good venue.
Dude, we need to tackle that subject.
When are 3 a.m. ankle protectors going to come out?
Oh, 3 a.m. When are 3 a.m. ankle protectors coming out?
ASAP.
What is that?
The prototype is here,
Oh,
but we're working on it. You got to break them in.
okay. Anything?
One question is, who's the biggest diva, Charlie, DJ, or Sean?
Depends.
Yeah, it all depends.
Diva, like what?
I can become a diva. We all have our diva moments in different lights, different circumstances.
Me when I'm hangry.
Sean when he's angry. Me when we're like doing something, I'm like, I need everything to be in order. DJ's particular about design or execution. I don't know.
Like in the podcast or just diva
Dude.
in normal life?
Kevin's the biggest diva, dog.
Oh, Kevin is.
He's not here to
Okay,
defend
yeah.
himself, but straight up, that
That
fool's a
is
diva.
true.
Like, we're all not picky as far as like food and whatnot. Like, Kevin is, he's like, I'm not picky. It's like, dude, you are the pickiest fool ever. So, love you, Kevin.
DJ, whatever happened to that Reddit person you were in contact with?
There was one.
Yeah,
Which
I
one?
was in talks with them and then they just stopped responding. If we're talking about
They're dead.
the person who had like,
The occult.
yeah, was
Oh,
in the
yeah.
occult. Yeah, I was talking with him a couple
remember.
times and he just stopped responding. I reached out to him like 2 more times and I was like,
Dang.
I didn't want to press him further than I already did. Unfortunately, happens a lot.
Yeah. Like people just stop responding or whatever.
Or just like loose ends and we can't like,
Yeah. I know we always, like every episode, we're like, oh, we should look that up and then never do.
yeah, or we look it up and like there's no further information or
Yeah.
I don't know.
What can we expect for episode 200?
Oh damn!
If we make it, bro.
Record from the moon, bro.
I don't know. Dude, we have so many more miles. Oh, dude, we just hit 3,000 followers on IG, which is not big for big people, but it's big for us.
Yeah.
So thank you, everyone who follows us on IG. If you know someone who doesn't, steal their phone, go follow us, give us a like.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, come and hang out on Discord too.
All right, before we go, I feel really bad. Isaac sent all that money. He sent $3,000.
Holy.
So I gotta give the people what they want. All right.
What a sellout, dude! That money really got to you.
Kalima, you ready for that wide?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
All the viewers out there, left foot or right foot?
Both.
I have to get it to focus on me. Focus on me.
Put your foot.
Left foot. All right.
This is dumb, dude.
Here we go. Is everyone ready?